Hey, everybody, welcome to those who are sitting out on Facebook, waiting for us to come on the live. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a beautiful to have you here. Blue 3.9 FM, your favorite gospel station coming to you live. It is DGMT. No, don't leave. There's somebody just signed off. No, come back. Hey, no. Hey, like, I don't even listen to music. I don't want to listen to music. They were live. Like, they're live. Everybody here? We're here. We're sorry. We're just trying to get our things together. So come on. Come on, bro. Like and share. Anything back. All right, like and share, guys. If you are on Facebook, if you're on the radio listening, thank you for listening. Thank you for driving us in the background as you make your commutes everywhere on this Saturday. So sorry, we got some technical issues going on here. It's computer chargers, it's computer passwords. It's just a lot going on this Saturday. But we said, you know what? We're going to get started. No. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what this is. I'm going to do what this is. Yeah. No, not it. Not more. All right, so that's it. That's it. And three, and two, and one. Hi, guys. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? So now we here. We just got some technical issues, some personal issues, some emotional issues, some tiredness issues. There's just a lot of issues. Technical issues. There's a lot of issues going on. But we here. Oh, but we here though. All right, we here. Hold on, somebody got. So we have. We know the guy else. The guy that says 2212. Someone said no sound coming through. So I'll listen to another. I told Delton, I said he put do all the dangerous tales and snares. I was doing this impression. Oh, there's no sound on YouTube, but on Facebook, there's no sound period. For those of you that are on the radio listening, I was gonna try and do the whole Delton thing when he ends with "You need to drive to arrive alive," but I just don't have that good old radio training in my spirit, so I'm gonna keep. Oh, there's sound now. There's sound now. We're in the room. All is saved. I want you guys to really give Delton a round of applause because he has pressed through every obstacle on this here Saturday. I gave up about 3 troubleshoots ago. Gave up about 3 troubleshoots ago. Here we are, nonetheless.
All right. So all what I said just now, nobody heard anything.
And alive. What did you say?
So I said, excuse our technical issues, our personal issues,
But I think it was just.
our emotional issues. It's just a lot of
You didn't
issues.
even need to explain it.
Ah,
They played
it's-
themselves out. Right in front of.
I'm so
Right
sorry.
in
That's
the
why.
eyes of
That's
the
why people will leave. People were like,
viewers.
there's no sound on the show, and I was just here just talking. Hi, everybody. Officially now again for the first, back again for the first time.
Back again to the first.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so we 0352, I think. Oh, I gotta shut it off. Don't try that now. I can't remember what the password is. I don't know. All right, so sorry guys. It's just a lot. It's a long Saturday, but God be the glory. Great things He has done. How y'all doing? How y'all doing today? For those,
Things. Oh, y'all don't know that song. He has done greater things. He will do. Unto the Lord be the glory. Great things He has done. To clap. Great things He has done. That just took me back a second, guys. Sorry. I don't know.
Okay.
Greater things He will do.
that one did not make it.
No, that one don't make it. That one's never gonna make it.
That one
if
did not
Ty
make it.
Tribbett goes and fires that one in the bush and brings it back, they need to give him citizenship.
Yeah, that one.
They need to give him, what is it, honorary citizenship or whatever they be handing out to people.
That one did not make it across the water. So,
I would have been shocked.
The
Shocked if
great,
it did.
I mean,
Listen.
we could bring it if we wanted. We could bring it.
Yeah, but y'all would rake and scrape it, and that would make me upset. So let's not do that. Because I need that to be right there.
You gotta teach us to clap.
No
though.
harmonies. No harmonies.
All you gonna say?
Great things He has done. And you gotta give the wobble. Greater things He will do.
So this is a song for devotion. Like this, like a slow part of service.
Unto the Lord be the glory. Yeah, yeah. You just sing it as you feel it. You sing it as you feel it.
So it could be for prayer time. Could be for fellowship time.
It's kind of like a.
Greet your neighbor.
It's an offering song, you know. It's a you clap as you go and give your offering.
This is like
That's something that's really troubled me.
It's like
that we don't go and give
we're
our
blessed in
offering
the city.
anymore.
this
The people then pass the plate around. I never like that ever. Ever. Supposed to bring it joyfully.
Yeah, no, you
With
definitely.
gladness and joy.
Yeah, I don't. We didn't. I know for
Panorama.
us.
I know
Yeah,
the
the
pandemic,
panorama.
and then it just became the way we did it.
I forgot about that. It has become a thing now. Why don't we do it anymore? Why didn't we go back? Why didn't we revert?
We don't want to give to God joyfully.
Why didn't we revert? Why do we keep on doing this?
Delton, we need to do the theme song because I'm sleepy.
All right, if you can put it like that.
But the people then coming on in the room, coming on.
if you can put it like that.
Or should we just skip to Good Morning One?
No man, let's do the song. See the
Good
song.
afternoon.
See the song wake us up. See the song wake us up.
I can't hear it. Oh, wait.
Right.
It's weird not having StreamYard in front of me. I'm not going to lie. I'm not
Yeah,
a fan of it
I'm trying to. I messaged somebody who would have the password. See if they have the password still, and I didn't get the password.
Oh. As we said, do many dangerous toils and snares with breath.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot. Anyway,
My
guys,
rule is usually after 2:30, I tell Delton there's just no point. Shut it down. We're going to come back next week. Nevertheless, somehow Delton has kept me here for the last hour and 20 minutes trying to make
push our way through.
Listen to
We're going
me.
to push our way through, and such we has done.
Such we has done. You ready?
We got that. Good morning, T with Brother Delton and V. Vera Aqua are the faces you see. Impactful, insightful, delightful by far. Delton's signature laugh
And Vera's kiki ha ha. Good morning.
Sip that tea.
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 We start off with the popular and shift the topic to the strange. You better come in fast, cause the topic's gonna stray. Faithful are the follows that sip it on the tea, from wars to memes to governmental policy.
Good morning.
Sip that
Oh,
tea.
good morning.
Sip that tea.
Good morning.
Sip that tea.
Good morning.
And pops past the lead when they're closing on the final fact. And in my Vera voice,
My show just got hijacked.
understand your popularity. Even prophets and bishops got to have that morning tea.
Good morning. Sip that tea. Good morning. Sip that tea. Good morning. Sip that tea. Good morning. Sip that tea.
Yeah.
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 That will never get old. Yeah.
Always.
Never get
The church
old.
can
Big
always,
shouts.
The church can always say yeah. The church can always say yeah
Woo.
at any point, at any time.
Big
The
shout
church-
outs to EW who wrote and produced our theme song
definitely.
for the show. We greatly appreciate him. And for his sake, if just for his sake, we are going to press to make this a morning show once more at some point in the near future. At some point in the near future, this will be a morning show.
So good morning, one. Good morning, all.
Good morning, B. Good morning, Small.
Good morning, short. Good morning, tall.
Good morning,
tall.
all of y'all. Listen, it's not morning, but it's morning somewhere in the world.
Somewhere in the world.
In fact, where specifically is it morning right now?
I think it should be China. I think China's in the morning.
Somewhere.
I think Australia is closer to 24 rather than 12.
Right, they're 24. Anyway, somewhere in the world it's
Yeah,
morning.
somewhere.
And so we bid those people good morning. We bid you a good afternoon. And welcome. Come on in the room. To those who are with us, Rashad, Denisha, Kari. I saw Crystal logged in at one point. Marisha's here. Dane is here. The people them are in the room. It's time for us to get this show on the road. For those who celebrated birthdays.
It's everybody. There's like so many birthdays in September.
Oh yeah, but
It
September's
is
that
like
month.
45 people
But
celebrating.
I figured out what it
this
is.
last
I
week.
figured out what it is.
They're bringing the new year?
December and January, it's a little chilly. The people them snuggling to get warm.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Cuffing season. Bada bing, bada boom. September, October, November.
Oh.
Everybody's born.
Yeah, no, that's what
Yeah.
it seems. It seems like there's this September month, you and New Year, Christmas. Like someone forgot to buy a gift, and it was like, I got a gift for you. It's like I got a gift.
It's a
I
real.
got your gift right here. Like somebody forgot to buy a gift, and it's like, all right, here you go, take this. Boom, here you are.
Wives all over the women all over the world didn't bother to buy a gift. They got some expensive stuff and thought, what can I do?
Oh,
What
like
can I
you
give
got this
back?
diamond necklace for me? Like,
Listen, I have. Anyway, we
what I-
digress. Focus. We really just came to wish all the
what is
September
fair
born-
exchange in this
I'm
situation?
Don't get Delton started on this topic because he's always very quite
yeah.
passionate about the fact that the exchange between gifts between women and men is unequal. But I think that's how it's supposed to be.
I guess so. We
I
gave,
think
you,
that's how it's supposed to
we
be.
gave y'all a rib. Y'all gave us fruits that kick us out the garden. Yeah, good morning. We gave y'all a rib and
But
life.
to all those who are celebrating,
we're
to
like,
be
oh,
fair,
take
it's not
this-
just
take
September
this fruit.
people. We got the end of August people too because we've been away for 2 weeks.
Remember in August as well?
Yeah.
You missed the end of August? Oh, man.
Last week was Fine Art Sunday, which was the third.
Yeah, sorry for
which
last
is
week.
essentially the
That's-
reason.
Things.
We should play a clip. It was a grand
Oh,
time.
it was a grand old time, dude. It was a good time.
I have clips.
You have clips? Send me a clip.
I have clips.
I'll post a clip.
Yes, you should post it for the same.
Because we had a whale.
So for those of you that celebrate at the end of August, no one is coming to mind. I'm also restricted to how much I can actually see because I don't have a laptop
You
today.
don't have your laptop. You don't.
But those who celebrate at the end of the August, beginning of September.
I know happy belated anniversary to Leo and Henry. See,
Yes, they celebrated on
That was
Thursday.
Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday. One of
Thursday.
those
It was
days.
Thursday. For sure, it was Thursday.
To all of you that celebrate a birthday, I know
Yeah, man.
Lillian was this week, if I remember correctly. Lillian.
Yes. Lillian, she doesn't come by here no more.
No, she stopped coming.
She
I think
doesn't- I don't know
she
what
forgot, she
happened.
forgot where we live.
Yeah, or we forgot to stay in the house at the right time of the day.
Yeah. That could be
That
it.
could be what it is. as
Definitely
well.
that could be the cause. But
But
if
to
we
all of y'all,
and if we forgot your birthday, we do apologize. Happy birthday
Happy
to all of
birthday
you.
to you,
We
huh?
celebrated the last 2 weeks, and happy anniversary to all the couples that got married in this summer heat.
congratulations to those who achieved great things with their lives.
Great things.
Shout out to all the teachers if you made it through first full week of
Teachers.
yours. Government school teachers made it for the first 3 weeks.
First full
week.
Also,
of
Temple
teaching.
Christian Rock School that my child attends. They also had their first full week.
For those teachers, more grease to your elbow.
More grease to your
You've not heard that one?
More
I don't know where I got it from, but for me, that's a
grease to your
solid.
elbow.
That's a solid press
You
on.
need elbow grease, so it's
Yeah,
it's
small grease
more grease to
to your elbow.
Yeah, no, it was. Let me just say for let's talk time. My experience with this is the first day of school. We had big plans. We was like, we can have our children to school early because now David started school. It's David's first time in school officially.
For those who don't watch
Is
DGMT
too.
regular, Dallas is always late to school. In fact, Dallas has a reputation for being late to school.
Sometimes. So Dallas is 5. We're going on to grade 1. He was happy. David 2, going on to I don't know what he's in, K something.
David's not 2, he's 3.
David is 2.
David is not 2.
He's gonna be 3 in the. You all tell me.
How
Jesus Christ! You don't tell me that my child is.
Jesus Christ. David is only 2.
Only 2. He's only 2 now. He got 2 more months left too. So that first morning, we were like, "Let's go. We gonna get ready." And I got past my first light, and the traffic was like, "Hey, guy, how's it going?" The traffic was like right there.
Where you been?
So where you trying to head to? I was like, "I'm trying to
What
get to
time
school."
did you leave the house? Delton?
We left like a few minutes before 8.
What did you expect?
I mean, normally we leave that time. Wake up.
Did you just say normally? There's nothing normal.
No,
about
like
the
normally in
first
school.
week.
Like normally in
But
school.
there's nothing normal about the first.
But what
week back to
happened?
school.
And it wasn't that either. Because what happened was there was a
normal.
4-car collision that happened, like not even close to us, but it just affected everything on Prince Charles.
4-car collision.
4
on
cars.
the first day back to school.
All hit each other bumpers, and it was like, y'all got to be kidding me.
Were there children in those cars? Could you see?
No, I didn't see children, just adults. And it took us, normally it'll take us about 25 minutes to get from home. Yeah, give or take. This morning, my first day of school, my first child got to class at about 8:50, 8:45.
What time does school start?
8:25.
Oh,
8:25.
day of school.
And his parents, who took him to class, I wouldn't say who it was, but it wasn't me. His parent decided, no, that's not going to take you to class late. I want to take a picture with you and the teacher. Walked in with a camera.
I said parent. I saw they posted those pictures on Facebook.
Like, Mom,
I didn't realize that you were that late to school.
Do you read what time it is? She's like, I see the post. Jeez. I was like, man, it's 8:50. Almost 9 o'clock. And the teacher obliged. I was like, good job, Miss Teacher.
For the sake of keeping my job, I'm not going to talk about how I've been getting to school and what time I've been getting to school.
Boy.
I'm struggling. I'm struggling. I was talking to the people in my department. Something about this school year is different. I can't tell you what it is. I don't know what's going on. Finding the rhythm of back to school it's not happening. We're 3 weeks in. So I'm not even, I'm 3 weeks in. I mean like 3 strong weeks in. And I don't know if I'm coming or going. I don't know who's doing what. Like it's an interesting one. But Super September.
Oh yeah. Ready to go. Although we almost 2 weeks into September. Now but that was what is funny. What is funny is that they are doing teachers are doing these WhatsApp groups with the parents. And
Still.
But now they have decided now. We got it now. Y'all can't talk.
Just for notifications.
Just for notifications. So the most we can do is send a heart or send a thumbs up. That's all we can do.
Yeah,
we can send a little sticker.
All you need to do is
we
acknowledge
can't type anything.
Okay.
In these
that
groups.
That makes perfect sense.
And so what we were doing was, it was just so weird. Our K5 teachers still had a group up where we could talk in it. So most of us as parents, we were getting our information from the K5 group because we were talking to each other in there. And then Friday, the teacher was like, okay, guys, it was fun teaching y'all children. It's like, y'all got to go. I was like, y'all
ain't going to be in
just
getting
like,
information from the grade 1 group to come and talk about it in the K5 group. Oh, no, we don't do that here.
And my wife was like, hey, guys, in case y'all were looking, the computer book is now available in the office. So we put that inside that group.
Real quick.
People were responding. And she was like, okay, I see what's
Your
happening
parents
there.
need to make your own separate group.
Yeah, but they ain't like that, though.
Exactly.
We don't want to be that kind of friends.
Exactly.
It's like, no, we friends, but they ain't like that. We don't want your number. Like, just talk in a group, and let's leave
Rashad he says, Vera, you got this. Get it together. I get to school by 7:50 every morning. Rashad,
You live next door.
the champion of all the teachers in the world. As I said, I've been at this for 3 weeks, and I still can't get it together. I can't tell you, but I want you to know I'm always there when the children need me. That's all that matters.
That's the time we get there?
That's the time. What time do you get to school? When the children
whenever
need
the children
me.
need me, I'm there.
Whenever the children need me, I'm right.
I reach. I'm here, guys. Welcome. What do y'all need from Miss Wilson today? I want to talk about something too. Like you mentioned something this morning that we're going to get to a little bit later. So remind me in case I forget.
Okay.
About something you said about what you're not doing with your children this year.
Oh.
See how people feel that. But let's get the comments now. Terrell was here. Terrell was here early. Signed the register.
Terrell Clinton?
Yeah.
You lie.
He was here,
It's been many weeks.
No, man. It's been many weeks. I mean,
Since we've seen him.
We had no show. I saw him actually. I saw him one day around by our church.
Wonderful.
Around by C.H. Reeves.
Terrell, I hope all is well with you.
I can say that that's Terrell. I saw you around by our church. Gary Willis, yeah, good afternoon. Gary, you sit around the corner or you far? Let's check in.
Like if she could bring wings in.
Yeah, like something like that. I know she was around the corner a few minutes ago.
QTNA.
Good morning, good morning. Oh, yeah, good morning, John. Donicia is here, another teacher. I talked to Donicia one day. I said, hey, Donicia, it's house school. Donicia, yeah, you home. It's like, okay.
I don't understand. I don't
Just
understand.
like, yeah, you home. Trying to find something. It's like, man,
What do you mean she
this
home?
is like middle of the day. This. Like,
Oh, like she made a quick dash home, eh?
I'm hoping that's what it was. That's maybe sort of real
Must
Jesus,
be
the kings
nice.
and queens after Jesus. They just says Find Out Sunday was 10 out of 10. It definitely was. We debuted a whole horn section.
Listen to me.
We did a flash mob
That was
choir.
legendary. Delton, you got to get that stuff out. Do
I
I need
want
to
to
send
say
you clips?
it was definitely like I think we agreed up in the office. It was like that really should have been the end of Summer Life. But that's for church meeting.
Finale.
That should have been the finale.
I mean, you can't plan these things.
You can. However you did plan it.
You can't predict it. I mean, you can't predict what's going to feel like the climax.
Yeah. Hey, Maca Chanel. Maca Chanel. Jody. Resident. Shaquinda is here as well. Hey, Shaquinda. Shaquinda says, hey, DGMT. Oh, man, that he on. If I saw it, it's on the camera. See if I saw it. Like, yes, everybody saw it. Everybody
I
did.
put my hand up my mouth ever so slightly.
Bakari says it's still there.
Come on, Bakari. Let the Lord use
Bakari,
you.
I want you to listen to the voice of God. For effort time, I need you to tune into the voice of God.
Just be led.
Let's walk right next door.
Just
walk
be
right
led
next door. Just walk
right next door.
And listen to the voice of Jesus.
Anything cracked, fried,
Just walk,
with fries.
walk right next door.
That's what it's going to be. That's what it needs to be.
I need to bring some snacks from inside where you are too. You want to bring some snacks?
Why not?
A little drink.
Because Miss Lisa Bethel is watching. Maybe she wants to send
Sure
something to
she
us
is.
today. Hey, Miss Lisa.
And Tito and the whole staff down there at the executive place.
I'm going to hear about that yawn tomorrow, I'm sure. Can't do anything wrong on this live.
Anyway, so that was our announcements. That's those celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, news and reviews. We're back to school like we talked about earlier, and that mean the only thing that I can think of that's really been like different for our country has been the. I don't know if you don't even care about that, but it's been the cabinet shuffle.
Yeah, but that the last time we were here, we talked about the provost marshal
it was coming
out saying, we shut and shop.
And then
you predicted that there was likely to be a shuffle in the cabinet, and lo and behold, there was.
shuffle in the cabinet. And
I
so,
tried to listen like a true Bahamian and pay attention to the names.
well,
and
first of
the
all, no
ministries.
true Bahamian listen. They definitely for the little thing.
That's exactly why I have no recollection. The only name I
Really
recall
wait for
is
the thing to get
Joe
released.
Mo, because his name is Joe Mo, and
Joe Mo, yeah, well.
I find that fascinating.
Joe Mo.
Not only is he like called Joe Mo, but it's Campbell. Something very strict. Like his name is Joe Mo. It's very ethnic.
Yeah, strong.
Ethnic is, you know what I mean? It's
You think
strong.
some coming afterwards?
Some coming after
Campbell.
Campbell. So I know he got moved from somewhere to somewhere.
It's Joe Mo and it's Joe Beth. They also.
Joe Mo, Joe Beth was moved.
She was. I think she moved from something, but then something added to something that she already was, and then Pia Honorable Pia Glue.
Carry the one.
Pia T Glue. Yeah, carry the one. Don't carry too
Minus the
far.
five.
Bring that back there. Bring piece of the one back.
Yeah, I know.
And they kept it there. So yeah, that happened. Anything else happened like country wise? We've had a lot of boating accidents recently. That's been happening in the news. I don't know if everybody's been paying attention. There was a ceremony held at Atlantis for some lifeguards. I think that saved, I think it was 4 tourist lives. Their boat capsized, and they happened to see it, and they was like battling the waves and couldn't do it. So lifeguards like swam out to them and brought them in. They got a little award ceremony at Atlantis.
The lifeguards got awarded for saving their lives.
Not awarded, yeah. And then there's another one that happened, I think, but 2 or 3 days ago.
I did see that one. That there was a vessel stranded. That was like a large number though.
Yeah. So it's been a lot happening around Bahamian waters. Y'all stay safe with
And there was an earthquake.
It was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like 400 and something people died.
Jesus, where was?
Come
When did that
on.
happen?
You gotta watch more than Eyewitness, man. You have to watch BBC. You have to watch
BBC.
other news, world news. Oh, let me get my facts straight. I'm not gonna call it out until I get all my.
Now,
ducks in a
what
row.
has happened in which is is
More
not
than
funny.
1,000 dead after Morocco
Jesus.
earthquake.
Morocco.
Yeah, wait.
Oh wow! Oh, I got those
1,000 people have died.
I know when something
At
happens.
a 6.8 magnitude. Isn't
Oh.
7 the highest
Yeah.
on the Richter scale?
Can't remember what the highest
Jesus.
number is. Now, usually those kind of stuff, they usually make the Facebook rounds, and they change the little flags and the prayer for Morocco and the That didn't happen this
Yeah,
time.
but not for Morocco. People
Apparently
don't
not.
pray for Morocco and places like that, and this is the problem with media right now.
So I guess there's no press. There's no press up from Morocco.
Yeah, but I'll send my prayers up for Morocco.
Definitely. So yeah. So I was not aware of that. What else has happened? Oh, what has happened? I don't know how many of you saw this.
I'm sorry about the yawning, guys.
It was
It's
hilarious.
nothing personal.
It was not hilarious, but it was like funny. And it's comical. That's it. It was comical. That the press.
Someone just messaged me and said, "I'm not gonna make it. I look very weary." Oh, baby girl, I think you are correct. When you say make it, how far are we really trying to go? These are the questions we're asking. I mean, if Bakari brings a little thing, we could do this.
We got it. I'll just big props to my family. Pia Glover role on her new appointment.
Who's that? Who said that?
Dana said that. So
Dana, that's your family, eh? Don't plug your cousins then. Don't plug your cousins then.
So, also the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers,
Belinda Wilson. My dog.
Sister Belinda Wilson, came out with a report saying that there are some investigations that need to happen because during this last new school season, they brought in some teachers from Cuba. Apparently, the
like this school year just now
to help with the teacher shortage that we have.
Right.
And unfortunately, they found out that these Cuban teachers don't speak English. They no habla español. No habla inglés. They habla español.
What do you mean they found out? It doesn't sound like it's going to take a great investigation to find that out.
So here's I watched it. It was on. I can't remember what station it was on, but the former Minister of Education, Jeff Lloyd, was on. Jeff Lloyd says,
"Oh, my boy, Jeff Lloyd.
You remember him? So way back when.
Way back when we were having them Sunday.
Press conference.
Yes,
Yeah.
good old Jeff, man. He took us through some difficult times. Sorry, someone just shouted out my shirt. I feel like I got to say a quick.
Let me take the thing off the screen.
Yeah, I want them to see how I tried to replicate the look.
You did.
I tried to replicate the look.
Turn it next way. Turn your head this way.
This way?
Turn your head this way so you look at the picture.
Oh, but the headphones. Okay. I got to turn that way.
No, next way.
No.
This way. There
She's
you go.
facing.
Exactly.
Oh, this way. I tried to replicate the look, guys. The simple head wrap with the lipstick. I had a green head wrap, but it just wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. And so I had to go black. But thank you, Denisha. The t-shirt is unfortunately not up for grabs. As you were saying.
Yeah, so anyway, we should confirm that teachers don't speak English too well. So that's just what you mean they found out. Didn't they get these people?
Okay,
so
break the story down. How have I missed this?
I was listening to former Minister of Education, Jeff Lloyd. Jeff Lloyd explained how it happens. He said this is not the first time that some of this has happened. What happens is, he says, the first problem is the Bahamas always moves a bit late in terms of these kind of things, meaning that there are offers made from Cuba that they have teachers available. Everybody know that Cuba has teachers available that can come now. But the Bahamas, in most things, we usually take a little while. We don't rush to get nothing. By the time we get there, Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, those are need teachers. Take the best of the best. So we're usually left with what's left.
But Cuba, hold on. You should not be offering any teachers that don't speak
Hold on.
English.
So here's what the thing is. He says what they do is they train these educators on interview questions. And they train them how to speak English for interview questions. Now, why are interview questions standardized? I don't know. When you have some for school. No, not for school. I need to know.
For the teaching profession, you could standardize. I think you could standardize interview questions because I think the interview is probably should weigh the least amount in whether you decide someone should be a teacher or not. You should need to see them teach. You need to see them interact with kids. So interviews, as far as I'm concerned.
So the bar
especially if this person applies specifically for your school.
For a teacher? For
your
teaching job.
school.
So what happens, administrators stuff, they go to Cuba.
Right.
To do these interviews. And he says, why
Cuba?
Yes.
I mean, Jamaica, Guyana.
But people, apparently those countries also go to Cuba as well.
But their teachers come here as well. Mass confusion.
But I think it's like, yes, do the lesser of two evils. So they leaving to come here because here it's a little better. And then like we going over
and
there.
then because they're leaving there, they need teachers.
Artists just leaving because they're tired. Artists just leaving because we had enough.
Yeah, Bahamian teachers not going to teach.
They ain't going nowhere else. It's like we teaching. I can find one job somewhere.
Oh, they might go to the States. I know a good leaf few that go to the States.
I don't know much of go to the States. I know much that they leave and
That's an exaggeration.
they'll get a job. or they start doing private stuff and stuff on the side. But so here we are now. Try 5433.
That
So-
just come to you like the Holy Ghost.
No,
did.
someone text me started. Someone asked me what would we like. What would you like?
Cracked chicken, fries, mayo, and ketchup. Oh my gosh, I love you.
Did you? I hope you heard personally.
With a Coke, something with plenty sugar.
I good afternoon. I want to say also good afternoon to Vasal. Vasal Miller is also watching.
And Cozy Nails.
And Cozy Nails, not a sponsor.
No. Today they just might be.
Maybe
You don't.
Oh, nah, they are.
You
Listen to
don't
me.
curse
I
it
will
now.
I'll post that flyer in a second. They send the flyer over. You say crack chicken and what? Sorry, guys. Y'all talk amongst yourself for a second.
Cracked chicken's not.
Talk amongst yourself for a second.
Ketchup and mayo.
As I place this, as if I'm not talking about something else.
So you would talk Delton. Focus.
Yeah. So I might put in this. Yeah.
I could do it. The laptop's on now.
Oh, she asked me. You do.
No, I can message her.
This is private. Yeah. All right. So anyway,
Who am I messaging?
so they said that what normally happened before, is they have these consultants that the government would take with them, and apparently that didn't happen this time. So the consultant would go with the crew to interview the teachers, and the consultants, what usually happens, do a little undercover week, and would go talk to them like outside of the interview, and that's when they would find out how proficient they actually are in the English language, and apparently that was not done, and so now we have teachers over here that can't communicate. And I don't think the teachers were all brought for just to teach Spanish. I think they were brought for multiple subjects. Now, if they just brought to speak Spanish, although it might be rough, you can understand. Because most teachers, their ideal Spanish class, they don't just speak English at all. And so they teach you stuff based in Spanish. So I guess you could squeeze your way through with that. But when it comes to teaching other subjects, I'm going to need you to
I'm
know,
gonna need you to
to
speak
know some English.
English.
And so I don't know. Oh, what's happening? So I have a teacher that private messaged me just now, and they said that ain't no lie. A teacher called me and told me the Cuban teacher they have at their school also has an interpreter with them at all times. So the
What
so,
on
so you
earth?
have a teacher and a teacher's aide, aka interpreter, that's there to help the
Oh no. That is a waste of resources.
and so now, but I don't know if the teacher brought the interpreter. Was that provided to them by the government? Did they put an ad in the paper for an interpreter? I am not quite sure exactly what happened, what went wrong.
So what are they gonna do? I need the code.
Oh, come on.
So what's the solution to this problem? That's my first question.
Solution? I mean,
Because are these
moving
teachers going to
forward?
just continue they're going to finish out the year not speaking English, eh?
Oh, so probably say the government is providing the interpreter.
It has to be.
So that's fine.
It has to be. You fish me from my country to come and teach in your country, and I must bring an interpreter. That doesn't even make sense.
So that's what's happening, and I don't know how many schools this has been. I didn't have a report.
It would be nice to know the number of teachers.
So that person needs to be fired because many of these human teachers teach the sciences and even math, and the math.
I'm not gonna lie.
Rashad
I'm not
say the math here.
stereotyping, but I know Cuban teachers to teach math.
Oh,
I
yeah?
know them to be math teachers
I
and
can't.
science teachers.
In my high school, we never had Cubans. We never had any Cuban teachers. We had Guyanese. We had Jamaican. I think that's only like two
Nationalities.
Well, we had. No, she wasn't Cuban. I don't know what Senora Dunn was.
Senora Dunn.
Yeah, DUNN. I don't think she was.
Dominican, maybe?
I don't know.
We just
But,
guess. We just guess.
Just throw an ethnicity out. Dominican. But I
Yeah,
know,
no, they have to do
so
better.
Guyanese were science, definitely Guyanese, and the Jamaicans were like math, and we had a technical drawing teacher from Trinidad.
In my previous establishment, 97% of the English department are Jamaican. And that's after I left and another teacher left. I think it's now
100% Jamaican.
I think those who weren't have now transitioned.
We
on.
had Jamaican as well. We had a Jamaican English teacher because I never forget the first time she said character, and everybody's confused. It's like, what? What you say now? And she was
Do you know
like,
what?
can you describe the character?
I had a friend who
The
was
what?
who
What
was-
did you just say? Character?
You want me to stop?
What is a character? I'll
No,
never forget
Delton.
that was
My
grade
kids do that
7.
to me. There
I
are
was
words
like,
that I
I've
say
never-
that the kids would be like, what?
She said
But
character.
for the most part, I just
lost
changed
it.
the way I say it because I don't have time for back and forth with you. Sometimes I'm going to put my foot down, but things like process, it's fine. You can have it.
Yeah.
Things like status, that's okay. But things like soccer and football, I'm not going to
First of all, that's not the same thing, though. That's like a whole different word for a sport.
But they look at me like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Character. Do you know what? I'll never forget. Say, sounds like a mortal. Terrell, come off this live, yeah?
Yeah, she was like, we had to do, what is it called, the thing we describe.
Yeah, I know Jamaicans to be the English teachers. That's in my experience.
Yeah.
Even in the UK, the Jamaican.
Jamaican
I'm
teachers.
telling you, that international teachers are the most international profession ever. Teachers and doctors.
Yeah, that's the same.
Because
medical,
I know
medicine and teachers.
I know I had a Ghanaian English teacher who was married to a Nigerian. Because her name was Nigerian, but her accent was Ghanaian. Everything about her was Ghanaian, but her name was Nigerian. I know. And me and my friends were baffled for months. And the way she carried on, you couldn't just go and ask her, are you married to a Nigerian? Did you want to slap? Miss Odukwere. That's how she used to speak. And always used to be chalk on her sound.
I can picture it. I can picture the white chalk. Oh, Lord, where's the chalk? Back in the
I had her
day.
for 1 year. The only Jamaican teacher I had, she was a PE teacher, Miss Brown, actually. Miss Brown didn't play. Miss Brown didn't play. She was strong. The only word that she said that made us a kiki was definitely. She'd be like, definitely.
Definitely. That's not right.
We knew what she meant, though.
I don't think in any language is
And
right,
you would
though.
be crazy if you wanted to ask. If you wanted to laugh at Miss Brown. Marisha said, Vera, you technically count as one of the Jamaican teachers, 100%.
So you were like 0.5. You added a 0.5 to the percentage.
Yeah.
Right? Well, do you think it's because of the whiteboards our BSC scores are so low? Because back in the day when we had chalk, I feel like our BSC scores were higher.
That doesn't stop you foolishness.
I feel like back in the day when teachers wrote with chalk, I think like our
Were
grades
they,
were higher.
though? Were they, though, Delton? Were they, though?
I'm not quite sure.
My colleague said something to me.
But I know we didn't have 300 people
My
pass.
colleague said something to me. We were talking about, it was in the news like last week, around about the time BGCSE results came out, and the number of students who actually achieved a C and above in math, English, and science, which are the basic diploma subjects, was only 330 kids out of some 5,000 and something, right? Don't know the exact number. We have a news article. Do you want to put it on the screen? You can put it on the screen.
I can find it.
But my colleague, after we spoken about that and that was going around, she said that it really changed the way she drives on the roads. Because now she'd be like, these people, how many of you have? How many of these people that we are arguing with in the store? How many of these people that serve us? How many people that drive behind and in front of us? How many BGCSEs did you actually get? And she said that in her mind now, that's just made her super alert. Which is but it is, these are astonishing numbers. Now, I will say, for all exam boards across the globe, there has been a significant drop in performance this year. So some scientists, some child psychologists somewhere is going to start doing a study on why, what are, like, Corona. I'm sure they're going to, it's like pandemic,
they're
Corona. They're going to start mathing the math. Because these aren't the first kids to take an exam after the pandemic. Last year's kids would have been the first.
But I think that last year they still were like they're still sort of stronger on the this coming out of pandemic. They're still trying to get back to normal.
Now I'm no longer an exam marker for the Bahamas government. No longer, as in currently not. The way my life goes, who knows? I might end up back there. But I don't ever remember, and I mean I marked a couple of years ago, not even a couple of years, last year. Anyway. In that pandemic time, I don't remember us giving grace and allowance because of pandemic.
Yeah. No,
so I don't feel like to say this year the marking was harsher.
Yeah, no.
So I don't think it's a marking thing in the Bahamas anyway. That's my personal. And from the friends I have who mark, I rarely hear them talking about, the curve has changed or there's more grace, more leniency because of pandemic. No. So these results, somebody needs to talk out. Somebody needs to do what they have to do because that's pretty 330 out of 5,000 and some. That's pretty. That's two schools.
Now, one of my biggest, I think we spoke of this before on this show, one of my biggest concerns is always the math score. Because I always believe the math score is skewed.
When you say skewed, what do you mean?
Skewed from the percentage of the highest you can get as a C if you don't take extended. which to me I still don't understand. How do you process that? How does anybody process that? Me as let's say I'm an average student throughout of my
That they don't give
my
you the
primary
opportunity
school.
to get the A.
Don't give it to me. Give me a score for math and give me a score for math extended. Put down my BCA results, I did math extended. And give me my results, math. Don't tell me I do math and that's excluded extended. However, don't take extended. Because there are students who are not allowed to take extended. There's only a certain amount of students. I remember for me, I don't know if it's changed now, but for me, if you do doing extended, you did classes on the side. That's how it was for me in grade 11.
So I know,
in grade
but
11.
I understand it to be that it's separate classes now. The kids who do extended have a separate class.
However,
from the
when you
kids
get your
who do-
results from BCSC, if
Everybody just says
I
math.
got all the questions right on my core exam,
You get
I
C.
get a C. That's not fair.
But then you got all the questions right, but they were C questions
How do you give me a C question?
because you didn't do the extended paper.
So why?
I'm not agreeing, but I'm explaining the logic
You
behind
give me
it.
C questions?
When I was in school, it was the same. We had higher and foundation. Even worse, they didn't even call it extended. They called it foundation
Like,
and
you
higher.
understand the
So if you did a
foundation.
foundation paper, the highest you could get is a C. But what it meant is that there was certain material that wouldn't even be on your paper that was considered the A
Yeah.
math skills.
Right.
You just didn't ever,
Yeah.
you would ever tested on those. So yeah, you're an excellent C. We don't know if you could be an A because you didn't do the
But
test
for my
that would allow
math
you to get A.
exam, because when you tell me I'm taking the math BGCSE, you told me that I'm doing what's on the curriculum. These extra things on
So
this
you're
paper
saying that the
are
math
not
should
basic
just
curriculum.
So the math should allow you to get to A.
to A.
Extended, okay, I see what you're saying.
And you get a different for math 2 or you get a math extended.
That should be the case for all exams. That every exam should have the core and extended, core and extended, core and
I also
extended.
think so.
Because in the UK it was like every exam or all core exams,
Oh,
English,
so
math,
there
and
was
science.
English
You could do
you got
core.
an English? Do you say English extended?
No, that's not a thing. Actually,
thing?
there is extended paper. Yeah, paper 4 for English BGCSE.
Oh,
But I think it's B. I think the cap is B if you don't do the
If you don't-
extended paper. I don't think the
that's
cap
not
is C.
bad. But to me, I just don't think it doesn't make. Let me put the comments there. The comments just say Rashad says. Rashad says both government and private schools have dropped.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I heard like most of the people who I knew, I guess I have smart people around me.
You know smart people.
I was gonna say that because I was like this. I ain't gonna lie. At one point, I was like, okay.
Government and
this is
private
a-
schools have to have dropped if the overall number is
like,
330.
this is a lot of A's. for
Oh,
people
that's
that-
literally 2 private schools the entire population. So of course it has to have dropped.
I don't know how to. I mean, you teach them a different private. Y'all way of teaching is different. Do y'all select students still for BCSE, or is it that it's available for all who want to, or do we be like, okay, you don't take this?
Because I teach English. Everybody has to do it.
Okay,
So I don't even
so
teach
everybody
a
has to do the
subject.
BCSE.
Everyone has to do language BGCSE. Everyone has to do math BGCSE. Everyone has to do the diploma stuff.
Okay.
So things like literature, you don't have to do.
All right.
Things like, I guess the sciences, you only have to do maybe 1. Was it 2? 1? I think you only need 1 for the diploma. You need 1 social science. So like students that are really struggling academic, they will be scaled back to doing the absolute necessity subjects to get the diploma. English is always going to be one of them. Math is always going to be one of them. So that selectivity, there's some wiggle room, but in certain subjects like English,
there were schools
everybody got to do it.
There were schools that were handpicking just in general. So like when they were taught, and this is from my days, where it's like when they talk about this private school had like the most A's. It was like, of course, you only chose the smart person to take the exam itself.
But you can't do that for English and math. Because these kids have to, now, I don't know if back in the day.
I don't think it's,
But-
I mean, it might have been, I don't know.
But even having worked in a school that is renowned for getting quite high results, they're not necessarily every kid takes the exam, the core exams.
Okay.
They take
For
them.
English,
It's
definitely
not,
English and math.
now the thing comes when it's grade 11, because you could say 100% of the kids in that school who took the exam that year got an A because they did it early.
Yeah, in
whatever.
grade 11, yeah.
And then the kids that did it in grade 12. So you can find ways to skew the numbers and sell the numbers,
yeah.
but you can't leave school without having done it. You're
Okay.
not going to just get skipped out and be like, okay, because you're not smart, you're not going to do it, so your numbers don't count. There are ways in which you can make the numbers look a certain way because of the batch you have and the
Okay.
grade they take it in and et cetera, But you got to do the exam now.
Rashad says the math extended foolery is nonsensical. How is it if I get 100 on the paper 1 and 2 in math, but if I don't do extended, the high test I get it, the highest score I get is a C.
Because the B and A skills are on the paper 3. That's the logic.
But
The logic makes sense.
That's not-
I don't like the idea of it.
That does not make sense.
No, it does.
It does not make sense.
Like if you're an A in math, you should be able to do this. You never get tested on that, so you can't be an A in math.
No. I'm trying to
think
do
it
for
makes
them.
sense.
It does their big building.
I don't
on
like
Buffalo
it, but I
Boulevard,
think it makes
University
sense.
Boulevard. Please, let's make it make sense.
Look at Lillian coming on her birthday
I see
week
it.
at week.
For
And
us-
we just call your
Just
name.
call you out. Just
to
call
say
you out.
Lillian forget all about us, and here she is on today.
That's it.
This is good to have you, and a happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday, Lillian. So for us, if you didn't have a B average in math grade 7, 8, and 9, you weren't allowed to take extended.
B average grade 7, 8, and 9. Oof.
It's like, oh, if you don't do this early,
Oh,
you ain't gonna do it late.
But Julie, what if you got, you didn't have a B average, but you got a B in the BJC?
You could be a late bloomer. Well,
They wouldn't
late
let you do
bloomer.
it if in BJC you got a B? That sounds rough.
Oh yeah, Rashad said that. Rashad correct. I said that wasn't extended. There's extended for English. She took it.
Yeah, there's an extended, it's the paper, I remember, it's paper 4. But I don't think the cap is C. I think it's B for English.
And there we go. So
Because at the end of the day, can you write sentences and paragraphs? Then how BAC
as a former marker,
former marker,
a former
as a
marker,
former marker myself,
when it gets to the extra paper 4, what do you look?
I don't mark paper 4.
Oh, you don't mark paper 4.
But paper 4 is a different.
I
So
don't
paper 4, what I
remember
know to be
even doing
what I
it,
know
so.
to be the distinction between paper 4 and the other texts is that it's like you do more comprehension that requires longer responses,
Okay.
more longer responses, and those responses are analytical rather than just you read and write what you see. So one is comprehension. It's almost a bit, but I think you've got to think as well. Language, not everybody does language, not everybody does literature. So that
Right.
extra language paper actually has literature elements in it,
Okay.
has literary analysis elements in it, as well as you've got to do like writing for purpose, slightly more nuanced. So after reading this text and answering some comprehension questions, you now have to produce your own piece of writing based on that text.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is a little more.
Yeah, it's a little more.
So okay.
It's a little more.
But I still believe that there should be
playwriting,
another thing for that.
Plenty. Oh, I have a teacher who marks BGCSE and also has achieved top score. She taught a student who achieved the top score in the country. She said the
She
cap
should.
is C for core in language 2. It's definitely C. Only A and B students can sit paper 4. Well, by grab, there you go. So I guess the core subjects, math and English, I don't know if any science teachers are on the lab, they could come and tell us. I was teaching core, Chris, and I didn't know that. That's wild. It's probably best.
I call his name. Wait a minute. I didn't know his name.
You said his, which is the first problem.
It's all right. So all right. Call his name. Call his name.
It's okay. It's okay.
You call it.
Rashad says, is it now time for us to revisit the structure of these exams? I just had this debate with my grade 11s. I just had this conversation about, does school just need to start from scratch? Does somebody need to sit down and redesign
Start
school?
the whole thing now.
The whole thing. From 150 years ago when they first decided that kids are going to sit in a class, learn these subjects. They're going to sit down with a teacher at the front, talking to them, giving them information. We've evolved from it in some ways, but the core still pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
The framework, the skeleton of education is still pretty much the same. Does that need to change? If more of our students are going off to school in the US, should we focus on the SAT, asking humbly? When you say more of our students, which ones are you talking of? Because I feel like there are a lot of opportunities for Bahamian students to do SATs. But you're thinking, should we teach to the SAT?
Like, let's structure this exam process.
I think that would be highly detrimental to the education, because I think teaching to the SAT is problematic, period. I think the SAT is problematic.
I've never sat the SAT, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not for it personally.
For most schools, the whole idea of this national exam, not school, most people I talk to, this idea of a national exam seems to be not outdated, but like doesn't make like
A
it's
standardized exam that
the
everybody
standard,
does.
Like we should move away from that being especially as it relates to
The benchmark by which you're judged.
Yeah.
Because we're encouraging educators to teach in ways that, accommodate all the different types of learners.
Right.
All the different ways the students' minds work, their preferences. But then they don't get tested in ways that acknowledge that.
Well, so I go through all this, breaking my lessons down for the auditory learners, for this one, how this one learn this one. I get my slides for this one. I got my little music player for this one. I got all the thing player for this one. All right, here's a test. Sit down. Look at this little grainy picture.
Silence.
Look at this grainy picture.
2 hours.
2 hours by yourself.
Y'all, Rashad, the picture's not still grainy on the exam, man. Come on. Surely
That same
not,
photocopy
Delton.
that same photocopy image over
I
again.
feel like they level. I feel like it's not color copy anymore. It's color copy.
It'll be blue. It'll be blue at the front, probably. But I don't think it's still black and white, and that's the grainy black and white image. It's like you go through all this color as a teacher, trying to bring color to your students, color to their learning.
Speaking of schools, now I only called a little back end of the furore of the boys that took the picture outside school. What school was it? What school was that?
I
with
think that was
tie?
CV. I think it was either C.
So the group of boys that took the picture, and some people were saying that one of the boys looked like he belongs in the gym. He looked like a personal
It's
trainer.
like a faggot.
He belongs in the gym. And then there was another one of the boys from St. John's, and people were making
Yeah, they
a
were
comparison.
doing a comparison of it.
It was a CV Bethel thing. I don't know what y'all thought about that. I was with the people that like, these are children in school uniform, taking a picture of themselves in school uniform. We should never have a criticism. Like, leave them to do education, please.
I don't think it was like
Leave them.
Couple of them had on like jewelry. Like
No, not a couple of them. All of the CV
I
boys
say,
had
I'd be
them
like,
big,
you-
ugly chains.
But
But when I was in school, we had something. We had things. Some of the girls, we had the fan, which, if you look back, was ugly. I'm sure our parents looked at that picture like these girls are stupid.
The design thing.
Maxine said she thinks it was Doris Bethel. Doris
Doris?
Bethel? Not Doris Bethel. Doris Johnson.
Doris Johnson. Oh, that was
Speaking of Doris Johnson,
the all back there.
our spot. The issue is they close at 6 p.m. now. Don't ask me why.
I know I did pass it the other day and I saw it's
Yeah.
like closed. I'm like, they
I
open
said it
the
was
day?
open and I swung in there. This was 4 o'clock. I said, sis, what's going on? She said, we close at 6.
Why? What's happening?
Something happened that meant that they had to, and now they decided they like it. So
No, but the public doesn't like it.
that we don't. I had to explain that to her.
She-
No, he looks like an undercover cop, Vera. You all need to stop it. That's a child. That's a boy in
I'll
school.
try if anybody haven't said to me, I want
That's
to
a
put
boy
it,
in
I
school.
want to put it up so we can.
But what got me was that y'all are gonna find something to say about everything,
Yes.
and definitely comparing the kids, the private school kids and public. Just don't do it. Let's just leave for the children to go.
Now, what
Go off into
I
the
do
sunset.
complain about is these little pants I've been seeing these young men wearing.
What, the skinny jeans?
These like they beyond skinny. These things, man. Like
I have a colleague who's on the line.
I really believe
I bought it up in a meeting.
they be getting them things made. There's no way you buy a pants like this.
And I was told by a teacher who's a parent that it's hard to find pants for these young boys that cut
aren't
that
like
way because that's just what stores are selling.
That to me, it is dumb. But yeah, I saw that, and of course it's wrong to make the comparison, trying to bring in a private school. And besides that, the picture of the boys that were outside the school, they were outside the school gate, so they weren't inside the classrooms. They weren't inside the gate as yet. Hence all the jewelry and the stuff like that.
Yeah, but they wanted to acknowledge, you know what I mean? They wanted to take a picture of themselves first day of school.
Yeah, fresh up.
Because ain't nobody take a picture of them at the front door this morning.
Yeah, no, they pressing the picture of them, so like we got our own picture. And no, I completely understand that factor. So that whole comparison thing, you can't do that. I don't think you can make that. I don't think you can make the comparison.
Bossman Rashad. Who's Bossman Rashad? Rashad, that's you again?
No, that's. Oh, I know Bossman. Bossman went to school with me.
Oh, Schoolie. What you saying? Rashad says they are cut that way. Some get them tailored that way.
I know
the private
no,
school
some of them I saw
comparisons are not necessary.
had to be tailored. Like the way I saw from my alma mater. So my alma mater, I saw one student that was walking, and I was like, no, you
got your-
definitely
yeah,
you
probably.
got that because there's no way that pants is that tight on your ankle.
Yeah, probably.
And how did you get your foot in that in the first place?
Ow! Delton, these
How
are
did-
questions that need answers. Delton, they actually do have a few photos with them on the compound with them on.
Oh, this
That's the teacher. That's the school's problem.
Yeah, the
that
school
ain't
issue,
your
yeah.
problem. That's the administration's problem.
I found the pictures now. I'm going to post the picture up on there.
Oh, he's your schoolie from Our Ladies.
From Avery is
Wow.
That's one of the weirdest stories ever. Me and Avery went from primary school to high school together, and this is like such a weird. Like the school that we went to was just so weird. Like you don't go from Our Ladies to CH3
to
of Star
CH.
Bailey. Well, all this step of the way, it was really free. Let me put it up so those who didn't see it. So this is the picture that was going around. So on your left, you saw this thing on this. I got nothing to tie. I was going to see, but she saw them say Doris Johnson. I don't know who it is. But anyway, it's a government school on your left and CSB St. John's on the right. Now,
I don't know that Doris.
I think one of my biggest issues is these little guys on the right. What these bags that y'all have?
But this bag thing.
What are these colorful bags y'all have?
I think, but that's the point of the picture for these guys. The point of the picture for these guys is
the bag
chains.
thing.
The point of the picture for these guys are the
It's the
bags.
bags?
Because the girls from this isn't St. John's. Who's this?
Actually not. What
No,
is?
St. John's. They have a green shirt. No way. Or are these the seniors? They have a grey shirt.
I don't know.
Anyhow,
I don't know the schools.
there was a girls one, and they all had similar cartoon type bag thing. I think that's the new craze. That's the new.
Christoph said they were
Christoph,
both
come off
taking
this
it.
live, man.
That's the
Come off
download,
this
man. The
live.
download of make it look waste.
But Denisha, even the cartoon ones are spray ground bags as well, because those girls' bags, they all look really like. I was like, what is happening here? New trend, new trend, new trend.
So also I love how people forget back in the day everyone was wearing their hair high out. High, but patted down with a line belt and pants on starch up trends change. It is truth. But to me, I as a person, me myself and I, as a person that was like raggy for like I was very upset when the trend changed at one point in high schools when you could wear Dickies pants and it was okay.
You could wear what pants?
Dickies, the brand name Dickies.
Right.
I remember me getting raggy in school for wearing Dickies pants. All the guys had taught me a thing. And then at some point they switched. And everybody's just wearing Dickies now.
Oh,
And I
you
was
mean
like,
among the young people then?
so that trend, and the starch up thing, that was in our year too.
Starch up is in with the line down the middle.
Oh, it was no line. That pants, I was like you open that pants enough for your foot to get down. Like it was like creased, like it stayed like this, and you open it enough for your.
Delton, you just
Yeah.
like them.
No, I never
The
did that.
the concept is the same. Everybody want their trousers look a little tailored.
I wasn't wasting no starch in my parents' house. Like soaking any
Not
pants
in
down.
Laura's house,
I
buddy.
wasted pants. They used to use cornstarch. I'll go cornstarch. Put it in the spray bottle.
Okay, so
Spray them
Rashad
pants
was
down.
saying that was St. John's. That's the prefix in the grey shirt.
Yeah.
Anisha said yes, it is the spray ground. I know spray ground is the brand that a lot of these kids wear. Some of the kids in my school that are a little rough around the edges, they have spray ground bags. So
No, for us,
I get it.
For us, you didn't want Black
I
Safari.
get
You
it.
didn't want Black Safari.
what is that?
Safari. I got bags at home. Still intact. I don't, but I still have books inside from Iron Billy.
Delton, that is ridiculous. You're nearly 50 years old. That is bizarre.
I almost talk about like so bad if you don't. I almost shut on the
Don't you
microphone.
call my mother's name.
Well, no, I was 50, but my Black Safari bag that I had in grade 12 is still in my house right this moment, right now. I can walk right in Dallas' room and take it off the closet. It
You
still has
definitely, of your
paintbrush
brothers,
inside
had
of
the
it.
best high school experience because I know your brothers never got nothing that was trendy or at the time.
No, not really. I mean, they had fake trendy, but it was still trendy. I got the worst. They got way better than me because I got my clothes made by an old woman
The one who put the wrong
who
buttons
put
on your shirt.
gold buttons on the wrong side of my shirt like it was a blouse.
God.
Exactly. So
You know why I'm
I
laughing? I just watched the episode of The Office yesterday where Michael wears a woman's suit to work.
that was exactly me. Buttons on the wrong side, and they were gold and pearl shiny buttons. And so no, I think I got the worst. I saw pictures of them in high school.
How we get
They were
talking about
clean.
school uniform?
We're talking about the things. Back to
talking
school. Back to school. Cuban teachers.
BGCSEs,
BGCSEs. Now here we are.
Here we are. You didn't
I
read
don't-
your friends.
Avery says, you take it out of me? Hey, when I was in school, it was all about who pant was pressed the best, using starch or stay flow. You know that stay flow? That's like a heavy starch. It's like, I say, like, well, what, for one point, we used to use cornstarch. You take cornstarch and water, you mix it up, put that in a spray bottle. It can turn the pants a little yellow.
I was going to say.
However, you can be creased right up, buddy.
You're crazy. You know something that still blows my mind about the Bahamas? That there are kids that go to school in white pants.
I told you, Leanna, I don't like the new R&B uniform
Hello.
with this tan pants for
My
us.
mind. You went to school in white pants, Delta?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't look at me like that. That's
What
bizarre.
you mean? White
Why would
pants,
you put
red
children
and
in
white
white
striped
pants?
shirt?
Why
And
would you do
CA3s,
that?
when you're a prefect, you got the green and white stripe with the white pants? What? And I don't do some.
I think that's the most practical change.
I don't.
to
But you
change them
you
to
walk
tan.
you walking around school with a little cardboard box in your bag. So you sit down, you put that cardboard box down.
That explains how it's done. 'Cause I don't understand
I don't forget how it was done.
I don't understand how
No,
they
no.
make
You
it home
walk
every
walk
day.
around with a paper bag or something in there. No, there are people who wear that same pants, and you never know. That's sharp, clean, and crisp after school. White pants,
whoever
clean,
picked that
buddy. What?
uniform
Oh no, we
is
took
a-
pride
what's
in our
it-
white
what's
pants,
it?
buddy.
Is a sadist. I don't understand.
We took pride in
I
our
don't
white
get
pants.
it. Let's speed ahead so we can get to one of our funny videos and then we can head on
Head
out
on
of
out.
here because it's nearly 5 o'clock.
It is.
Jesus,
Jesus.
what is this?
I know she was what
But
they were
Delton, I
wearing.
tell you, when we come on late, the Saints be on the live.
It'll be on live.
They be on the live.
I don't have an issue with what they are wearing. What I have an issue with are the gang signs used.
Check up again.
What, they're gang signs? I used to own that. I
You're
didn't
old
know what
people.
gang signs are.
Let me see.
Back in the day, we wore our gang signs. Oh, the little gun thing? Is that the gun thing they have?
Is that a specific gang sign or
No.
you just talking about gang sign in general?
Yeah,
This one on the end, he have his hand down, but he have a funky thing with his fingers.
funny thing. One guy has the little gun fingers up in the air. I don't. Actually,
But
yeah,
Shah, that's
no.
how boys take pictures. Now, I don't know if this means they're actually in a particular gang, but boys are always doing something like this or this or this, like always. This one. I've seen all kinds of things.
I know.
And these are from
Avery
kids
would
I know
know.
are not in actual gangs. Maybe they're trying to mimic a lifestyle or they've seen pictures and just think it's cool to do, but don't necessarily, you know?
I know Terrell, me and Terrell are the same age. Avery would know. I
Nearly
remember.
50?
Once again. Once again.
My bad.
I
my bad.
remember,
The expectation of food has made me
Like-
excited.
I doesn't say the story, but they'll understand. I went to Junkanoo and I saw the amount of guys just walking the streets with Raiders hats on, and that like did something to my spirit. I was like,
Raiders hat.
Raiders. There's a football team called like there was the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
Nah, they're the Los Angeles Raiders, and that was a major gang in our country. And now it is like obsolete. So if you like, I saw people like just walking, just wearing it around. It was just cool, and I was like, and I was at Junkanoo, and I was taken aback.
Got you.
I was like, what is happening?
The connotations of things change over time.
Like the gangs don't change, but yeah, it was syndicate at one point, and it was guns and gun dogs and raiders, and now it's just I don't even know what the gangs are. So apparently, I didn't know they had gang signs, so now they have gang signs. Apparently, Diana said in her day it was Lee Edwin and Levi's. I don't even know. You mean like Lee?
Lee Edwin?
You mean like Lee jeans? Like Lee?
Or maybe it means Lee, comma.
Let me take you
Edwin.
off.
And thank you.
I can go change these out. Get to these comments. So it was. I don't know who Lee is. Lee Edwards was that jeans or that was shoes. I know it, or Levi's was the pants. I don't know. I know for us. I got my first pair of Clark shoes. I think it was 3 years ago. I think about 3 years ago, I bought myself my first pair of Clark shoes. I went to school in Skechers. I went to school in Levi's. I went to school in no-name shoes. That was my life. I was not proud of it. I did not like it at all. I got my first pair of Clarks. I bought them myself. I decided that I going to buy me, and I bought me a pair of Desert Tan cheese bottoms. And I felt like a boss. And then they felt very uncomfortable, so I got rid of them. So that didn't even last long. But I know in school, like, you had to have like lame brand shoes named that. I never had that opportunity. My parents was like, nope. You're getting down to pay less, and you're getting these Skechers, and you're going to like it. Shah said, I remember the starch life. I couldn't move. No, that's the starch life craze of high schools was ridiculous. There were guys, I don't hear recently, I remember when they did Donald Ferguson. Donald couldn't even sit down. Like, they just sit down with their legs straight. That's how tight it was. You had to sit down with your legs straight. Just boy, don't forget the Clarks or Heelys or your Toys R Us light up sneakers. Like, first of all, Christoph, you're showing your age. Because Heelys, like, I know about Clarks, but Heelys, that was of late. Because if you come around school with Heelys, that's a problem. That would have had to be the problem for us because you couldn't come around school in no Heelys. Definitely not around here. They love that Office episode. No back pockets. Actually, I actually rewatching the Office now, just for fun. I think it's somewhere at season 5 now or season 6. Good TV. I remember when it was tags. The tags phase definitely was a thing. I remember the tags phase. Like, shout out to what the name was. The guys with the tags and everything. And I look at them, I can't remember them. Jaquay them. Oh, what the name is? It was Quay. It was. I see it coming back, but at one point it left.
I saw a very grown man, a grown man who's grown enough to have to rise early in the morning to go to whatever job he does, walking on the road with tags on his clothes, on his hat, on his
He
shirt.
probably came from our that generation that does. What the? Everybody remember what the group name, the Bahamian group that did Collage Them. That's it. Thank you for the stuff. Collage Them Entertainment. That they had this, and it was.
I'm
I
trying
saw
to
a man the
remember
other day
what
with
it
an
was
air
when I
tag
was
on his
in
glasses.
school. Always, we had tags.
No,
we had
no,
tags. We had
with
colored
an air
laces.
tag,
An air tag
an Apple air tag
on his glasses.
on his glasses.
Was that fashion or that was
I don't
just
know.
caution?
It was just
Like,
dumb.
I
Like,
be
what
losing things.
like I be losing these glasses. I can't
I'm always
find
like,
them.
anyone see my glasses? That makes sense
I
to
saw
me.
the air tag on. I was like, sir,
That if I
Gotta
had to put
stop
an
this.
air tag on anything, it would be.
my keys. I'm keys. Keys just be going.
No, I'm good actually.
The keys? Oh, my keys just be.
It would be the AC remote.
Oh,
It'd
that
be some kind of remote.
Fire stick remote.
It would be a
That
remote.
thing
of
that's
some
always
kind.
lost.
My keys are always in the door, on the inside.
I also on the outside.
Smart.
I be leaving on the outside. I'm like, oh, yeah. I get up in the morning, shake the door, like, what's this?
How we get
Shout
here?
if you're
Okay.
in the government high, to this day, I still know how to keep white clothes perfectly clean.
I don't understand it.
Perfectly.
I
Like,
don't.
you took pride in that.
I don't. I'm always in awe when I see teenage boys whose bedrooms probably look like garbage with white pants pristine clean. Something about that blows my mind.
Oh, no.
Smell a little high too, but white pants pristine clean.
They smell a little off of that. I get that
How-
pants
how do you
clean.
do that?
What you mean? No, man. I
find that
work in public
impressive.
school. I know the science field. There are children that mock the science as well.
But what I'm saying, I'm not saying that you're wrong for the science. I'm saying, are they using them to be? Do you know what I'm saying? Are they using them to say that they're in the gangs? What are they using them to actually do? I don't know. Anyway.
Terrell says, how do you keep those white pants clean, though? Big me need a whole bib when I eating wearing a white shirt.
Now, white shirt and white pants is two different worlds, bro.
Completely different worlds, buddy. I remember my white shirt in primary school. That did not make it at all through the day. White pants, I got white shirt, completely different animal. I don't even wear a white shirt now. So I'm glad I couldn't do it in high school days. Reason I was afraid for my life seeing a bunch of Raiders hats. I know, like you saw Raiders hats. It's like, oh, shucks.
Something about to go down, eh?
Something about
This
to go
is
down.
powerful.
And you have someone shout dogs, and it's gonna be a big fight. Now you walk Raiders hat just because you want to, and it's fine. Also, Lee and Evan. So Lee and Edwin were jeans. They're separate jeans.
What is Edwin jeans?
I never even heard of Edwin jeans.
Never worn a pair of Clarks either, love.
Oh, you never got that?
No.
Are you from
Clarks-
the UK for Queen shoes?
Yeah, but people
Queen
we
of
don't actually
England
buy.
having love off yardy.
Like, if your Clarks shoes are not, Clarks are just not that. Clarks are just another store whose shoes are way too expensive.
What?
For being the same quality as Barrett's.
I don't
Or
know who it is. Who's that?
Barrett's is like the where you got your school shoes from. Barrett's has closed down
We know
now.
them. I said we know them.
Barrett's, where else to get your school shoes from? Everyone used to wear Wallabies. You'll wear them, but I don't know if you call them Wallabies. You call them Wallabies? Yeah. Wallabies were a thing.
That's a cheese bottom.
What else? I'm just trying to think what's trendy.
B
I was
boots.
always.
Did you have B boots?
What's B boots? I've always been trend averted. Like I've always been. I have a trend aversion. So if everyone's wearing it, I'm purposely not going to
Not
wear
gonna do
it, even if I like it. It's taken me a long time to buy Crocs, and honestly, it makes sense to me.
I had
get
one of
it.
those too. I had one of those
Like if everyone's doing it, I'm not gonna do it. So in school, I can't even tell you what was trendy. I do know one trend I was part of because I genuinely actually liked it, and it's extended for me beyond school, like cartoon characters on everything. So Winnie the Pooh, the Flintstones.
Oh, like on your stuff.
On your stuff, like your phone case, your bag, your socks, your hat. They literally made everything with, especially Winnie the Pooh. That was pretty big.
I was also anti-trend, but my anti-trend was because my parents were not buying it.
Another thing, that was kind of probably it for me too. Like I was going to ask my mom to buy something because everyone else has it. Have
My
I lost my
parents
mind?
just not buying it. That was the anti-trend for me.
Yep.
It's like, where you going?
My dad was going to buy what was being sold in the most expensive stores, so he would only have to buy it for me once. And they didn't sell trendy things. They sold things that were quality. So my dad was buying me, what on earth are those?
Man, you don't know Buffalino?
They look like
Beep
jazz
boots?
shoes. They look like jazz shoes. There's them dance shoes for
Man,
men.
these were the hardest pair of shoes.
For boys.
For boys,
No,
man.
Delton.
What?
That looks like a girl shoe.
Man, if you didn't have a pair of B boots, You weren't saying a
We're
thing.
going down a dark rabbit hole, and I'm not enjoying this. Can we come back?
You
please?
didn't
Come back.
If you didn't wear a pair of B boots in high school.
Dwayne said Clark's is a UK brand. Very much so, sir.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Very much so. But in the UK, it's really not that deep. I mean, Clark shoes are considered to be value. Like, good quality value for money. But there's not like I must buy my school shoes from Clark's.
No,
Hardly ever.
Has to be from Clark's.
Dana said, I'm skipping through the comments because if I don't, Delton's going to keep reminiscing and we'll be here all day. It was so bad. Dudes used to take the lead tags and sew them into no-name brands. Times were hard
Wow, definitely
for all of us.
Yeah,
Tags on
they have
everything
no
is
glass.
Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone.
I was a Payless girly. You go ahead, Marisha. Vera Croc life is important. I have 13.
You have 13 pairs of Crocs, is that?
See, my problem with Crocs is
Jesus Christ.
when I'm dressed in anything, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put my Crocs out. They don't match everything. They're not suitable for all occasions.
Apparently they are.
No, because you can't wear them to work. So
But
13 Crocs, but you wearing 13 Crocs
in
you
their
spend most of the
minds,
time.
they go with them everywhere.
13 pairs. That's obsession.
And I've still yet to buy a pair. I have
Everything in moderation.
I have
Sharks.
refused. I have like stayed away until now.
If Delton buys a pair of Crocs, I'm gonna be like, Jesus, soon come. I feel like there's some things I don't want to see. I don't want to see Delton conform to the trend of Crocs. B boots again. Terrell's asking why they're so popular. They look disturbingly feminine. I don't even
the arch?
understand.
An arch was high, buddy.
Arch. Y'all are basically wearing heels to school. Like y'all wearing high heel shoes. What you mean?
I never had a
Wear
pair,
B
though.
boots from grade 6 to 9. Clarks from grade 10 to 12.
Oh, B boots wear it, buddy.
Looks like modern day sandals.
Buffaloes.
Chris Lee Delton. Remember, was it you that I was having a conversation a bit about how old Chris Lee is?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't you. It was somebody else. Chris Lee's my age.
Who, Chris Lee?
Chris Lee, Kayla's daughter. Chris
Who's
Lee.
on the screen right now?
Yeah.
You tell a lie.
My age, baby.
No, she's not.
When people tell me I look young, I say, no, I don't.
You are lying.
No, I don't.
Chris Lee,
People
you are
like
not.
Chris-
You are not.
Chrissy is a spring chicken, yeah? She say we used to wear.
lie.
She say we used to wear. She mean people like you. You and her. You and her in set. We used to wear double socks in high school.
Chris Lee, why don't you?
What's double socks? Like when you
Like
have
school
one.
socks?
Yeah.
Thicken them
We
up,
used
buddy.
to do that. No,
Thicken
but
them
oh
up.
no, we didn't have that for that. We used to have it so you could have your black come high and your white stop underneath it.
Oh, two different colors?
Yeah.
No, same color.
You say used to. I think they still do that.
Yeah, they want to affect you one of those little calves. I guess I don't know.
I wish I had that trend. That was my insecurity when I was in
Calves.
school. I didn't have any. Still don't. We used to wear double socks in high school. Only trend I can think that Yole mentioned. Delton covered everything else. I go to work in my Crocs every day, then switch to my work shoes when the bell rings. Likewise. And I only have one pair. High arch. That's disturbing. Marisha said Crocs are ugly and only necessary when walking through water. I
Walking
literally
through
bought them
water.
because I heard someone say they're good for flooding. So you don't get electrocuted.
Because it's rubber?
And you thought, oh, this is a good reason to buy Crocs.
Because it's okay, electrocuted. Like what?
Crocs, but the Crocs, Uggs, they have the same level of ugly.
Are they really comfortable?
Uggs.
No, I mean
Crocs, yes.
Crocs, yeah. Okay.
Genuinely, because I look at them like that's the most sweaty shoe in the world. Why are you wearing rubber everywhere?
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's not at all. It's very airy. But like now, real shoes feel very suffocating. Like when I put on actual shoes to wear, I'm like, all I want is my Crocs. I just want my Crocs.
That's all you want to wear.
That same way you want to just go home and put on your pajamas. I just want to wear my Crocs. Honestly, real talk. And I was anti-Crocs for ages. 2 different colors too. Christy said they had the 2 different color socks. Maxioneer said, good for standing on your feet all day. You see people who work in like restaurants and stuff wearing Crocs. They are super comfortable. Crocs are life. I have 6 pairs. This is not a competition, guys. It's not a competition, but congratulations. Delton, we're talking about Crocs and thing, and the people just slipping off the life. We got to get to our meat and we got to be out. I don't think they're comfortable and they make my feet sweat, so they're not for me. Well, then it's always good to know thine self.
Yeah.
And to thine self be true.
Be true. I haven't tried a bet yet.
That sounds like you said be true. But anyway,
be true.
beetroot. Oh, we're 1 hour and 15 minutes in
Get ready to go.
for this late morning. This very, very late. This is not even late morning. This late afternoon.
This almost evening now.
But there was something that was going around the Saints were sharing and a kiki about last week. And you know we can't miss any kiki. We don't carry last when it comes to kiki.
I don't know what you're talking about now. I ain't gonna lie to
This
you.
is the
Oh, hold on. I didn't say that.
what? You were saving things for like 5 hours.
I was. That's what I did. Anyway, while I try to get this video, let's play this.
Prevent dengue fever. Controlling the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So cover your drums and buckets. Don't you let them breed. Put garbage in covered containers. I want you to take heed. Don't store them on tires from your house. That is a no-no. You must stay on your drains, the bush, as if you're home on the show. Search the premises, make sure no mosquitoes are inside. Fight the fight, destroy mosquito breeding sites.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization.
And say amen. In my head, I'm like, oh, Kim. It's Kim.
I know how you
What
get this, man.
foolishness you talking?
I
Something
don't
about
know
that rhythm takes me there. I don't know why.
Why you keep hearing that?
You better check yourself. I go, I check. Why, Delton? Check your health.
Check it.
Girl, Lillian say dengue still around. Dengue on the rise, ma'am. Dengue
Oh, they're
on
still
the
around.
rise.
It's the new hot thing now.
Dengue's
Forget
the new
go.
COVID.
No, they come back, but they came up with a vengeance. It's like, nah, we coming back, guys. There it is. Egyptize up mosquito. Shout outs to the song.
Just when I thought that you had it right, man.
I'm like, oh, like, I don't really understand how you keep on hearing the song.
That's one of my all-time fave soca songs. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all know me. I say some of y'all were smoking, drinking, doing drugs in the world. I was listening to soca.
That's so good. I would have waited for time. I would have waited for
That
time.
was it. Bending my knees
Just-
and shaking up my waist. That was it. So every now and again, one of them songs would grip me, snatch me. O Kim was
Lock
up
you
there
in.
with my faves. I can see myself listening to O Kim on my Samsung Walkman phone, walking to the bus stop to go home after.
I would have waited for time. That's just how to walk to. Let's get home.
Y'all pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me.
I even hear that song and that. I don't even know.
It's the beat, Delton. No?
Actually, I said to reduce swelling in her feet, but she's been working long nights baking, and she had no compression socks with it though. So apparently, shout outs to the Crocs.
Save
So
my
I'll
life.
say I don't have a pair of Crocs yet, but I'm not opposed to them. I'm not opposed either, but I just don't have a pair. I think for me, it's hard to try to find my size because I've never been in a Croc shop. So I probably need to go to a Croc shop where I can actually get the proper size for my feet, for my hoofs.
For your what?
For my hoofs.
These days, you just be saying anything.
So anyway, this happened. This was like 2-3 weeks ago. This is how long. I saw that Dwayne sent me a thing, and I was gonna talk about that. I don't even know who this guy is. We talk about that next week, I guess.
We could put it on.
You know, it's a pastor that. Anyway, so this happened. This happened about 3 weeks. What our last show was? I think it was about 3 weeks ago. We never got a chance to talk about this. And this is a prophetess of Anita Bynum, and it went viral.
Of course
It went viral.
Whatever
People
she
were
does
like-
goes viral, first
Yeah.
of all. She doesn't need to do much to go viral.
And so this went viral, and people were like, "There's a key in," and talking about shooting the devil and pew 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 pew. And it was like, what is actually happening with her? What is she doing? Why are we doing this in the church? La la ray ray. Can I say that I saw the video of it, and it made sense?
Play the video. You don't have the
I don't
video.
have video saved. Let me save it real fast. Because I saw the video of it, and I think like most things that make trends, we here at DGMT, our mission is to make sure that we we go deep into research to make sure we understand the truth.
I did see the video of it. And like you, it makes sense, Delton. Or
It
some
makes sense.
things makes sense, but it don't make sense.
Was it lawful but not expedient? It's one of those things. It might
I
have been
didn't feel like
lawful.
it fits there. It just looks silly. It looks ridiculous. That's
But
all
does
is.
it though?
It does.
Okay.
It absolutely does.
Like,
does.
but does it? But did it? Did
No,
it
but
really
it does
though?
though. It does really. It
Oh.
does. Has she
Let
done
me see.
anything wrong? As far as I can see, not really. She hasn't broken any rules, any laws. She hasn't violated
No.
or offended anyone. So this is fine. But it just looks ridiculous.
I don't like the point.
You know what it is? Because when she's talking, let me introduce you to something I'm teaching my kids.
Go ahead.
Perfect example. I should use this with them on Monday. We're talking about a genre of literature called magical realism. And the definition of magical realism is when the text is set in the real world and there are magical or strange or extraordinary elements exist in the real world, but they are accepted as normal. Nobody reacts to them. So they're magical, but they're accepted as regular. So there's only hints of the magical, the strange, or the supernatural in the real world. This, for me, is an example of magical realism. It's so bizarre and silly, but everyone around her was jumping, shouting. She was waving it around while she was giving a word of the Lord. So it's kind of like, well, everyone in the room is accepting it as regular and normal and okay, so we'll do so. Hey, Koshaka! I'm sorry, guys. Food has been delivered. It's been a great show. We've had a good time. Y'all shout out Bakari and Basal who come in here on today.
The Miller sisters are
The
here,
Miller
guys.
sisters are here and they've come with treats.
Oh.
Yeah, I was flagging. I wasn't gonna make it. The Saints they could see I was weary in my spirit.
So we just want to pause real quick for what we call station identification, and we want to send special shout outs to Bakari Miller and Basal Miller, who on behalf of themselves thought it not robbery to bring us on this Saturday a meal and a beverage. We say thank you, guys. You didn't have to do it, but you did. And we
You're
are
not
fair.
on the live. You're not
I
on
know.
video. He's just doing that as background sound.
And we are forever grateful. We just want to say it on the live. And we thought, so today's sponsor. All right, so I'll shout out the nail company, but they ain't sponsor it. Okay. I was going to shout out the nail
I
company.
want you to know my heart is in the right place.
Oh, man, that looks good,
And
too.
and it
Oh,
have
that
a-
got a little block of ice in there.
What?
Oh, that is beautiful.
Delton, we become distracted.
You shouldn't be drinking Coke soda, Vera. You should stop it.
Why?
It's not good for you. I'm drinking coffee, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
What does coffee have that Coke soda doesn't have? Sugar? Yes.
Acid, man.
Caffeine? Yes.
Does it have acid? Coffee doesn't have any acid. As far
What
as
does
I know.
Coke really have? Do we know what flavor Coke is?
Vanilla bean?
Vanilla?
Isn't it like a vanilla kind of bean kind of thing?
No, they have vanilla flavored Coke.
Anyway, we're very distracted on the show. Anyway,
Very
thank you so much.
distracted. God bless you guys, yeah?
Y'all have a great day. Y'all be safe on the road. Is our car ready? Is it?
No, babe.
Is it? Oh. You want some more things? You want some more things? Okay, all right, sorry. Once again, we digress, guys. All right, so listen to me. Back to what we were talking about.
Shout outs to
Thank y'all
Tito
so
and
much.
his customers. If you're watching, I'm about to eat. Because apparently
Yeah, you
last
can,
time
thank
I was
you.
eating and they had a problem with me eating on the live. This DGMT. There's food in the title of the show.
It is. So anyway.
So Delton, you missed my explanation, but in a nutshell, I said,
magical.
yes, this idea that it's so strange and bizarre, but everyone around is just accepting it to be normal. And that happens a lot in church, actually. We need to talk about that. That there is so much that is strange, unusual, and could really exist nowhere other than inside church.
Outside of
because
church.
church people jump on the bandwagon and just go with it. And that's for so many reasons. Sometimes you go with it because you trust your pastor, you trust your leader. You know they wouldn't do something like that without good reason. So you go with it. Sometimes you so in the hype of the moment and in context.
Thanks on the show becomes a mukbang.
And so they're like, so hate mukbang. I think
Disgusting.
I think mukbang is disgusting. But mukbang is when they want you to hear the sound of their mouth. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
the
do
ASMR.
That. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. It's the racism for me. Because a lot of them.
That's the one that I see on Facebook. The one I hear on
Why
Facebook
you sound
is
like
the
he's
guy.
doing kung fu?
That's what he sounds
Why
like
your
when he
mukbang
speaks.
sound like he's doing kung fu?
That's what he sounds like when he speaks. That's what it sounds like to
Anyway,
me.
we digress. So this for me was the epitome of church people doing madness or weirdness or bizarreness, and then church people just be like, yeah, man, go along with it. So everyone has to go along with it.
We shout on it because we
like
understood.
Grammy come and say, hell is hot. Ain't no water there. Ain't no Gatorade. Ain't no iced tea.
we gonna get to
and
that.
the Saints.
We're going to get to
And
that
then
in
when
a
you
minute.
take a step back, you be like, but this is mad though.
Actually, but it's a lie.
Bizarre, though.
It's like, but is it a lie? It's
No,
bizarre.
to be fair,
It's
Grammy was banter. She wasn't bizarre.
But
But
it's-
there's a lot of things that happen. You know, sometimes people say, well, you can't God's ways are not like man's ways. So if the preacher decides to do a karate chop on the woman's belly to give her healing, we can't really question it. But sometimes we have to be like, it's enough. Yeah, sometimes we have to be like, test. I don't know if they need to test the spirit. We just need to look and be like, but this is.
But does this make sense?
He takes the foolish things of this world to confound the wise.
So I'm letting it load now so that we can play just to give the context.
So maybe I'm wise then. Because I'm confounded.
So that's confounded you. So the mission accomplished. Yeah, all right, so I'm gonna play it as we get ready to wrap up. I'm gonna play it right now so you can understand the context of why she had a water gun filled with
anointing oil.
With anointing oil. It was just all. What's the word? I want to say hyperbole, but that's not what it is.
Just go.
Is it hyperbole?
For what?
Okay, is comparison.
Is this an example of hyperbole?
It was just a comparison. I want to say hyperbole.
Oh, an analogy.
Analogy.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to say.
Go ahead, sir.
But I couldn't.
Am I going to be off camera for this?
All right, go ahead. Yeah, you good.
And I want that to be your sacrifice, because the anointings that is upon every bottle is what's going to sit on people. And I said, okay, God. So Kathy, I thought he was going to say, pour a little bit in the bottle. And he said, but these people, he said, these people are weapons. These people would not be the people that just pray a little bit. These people will point their weapon. These people will tell the devil, if you don't shut up, I'm going to get my weapon. Because the weapons of my warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty through God to the pulling down.
The right band and songs will take any point.
And that's another thing that's starting to concern me.
Listen, I start shaking my head like, whoa.
That's another thing that's starting to worry me. Like some of these lives that I watch.
The right chords to take.
Like, a band could make any moment.
Oh, listen to
sense.
me, buddy.
Now, I take it back. In context, she got it. I get it.
That's what I said.
I didn't watch all of that. I thought she was going to squirt the people.
Exactly. And I think that's what people thought. People thought that she was squirting people with water gun, but she was not. She just used it for a comparison.
In context, it
illustration.
Makes sense.
It does an illustration.
I'm going to get my... Y'all should have seen Delton. That's what's like...
And I ain't lie, it was because of the music. It's the music. It's music that make it outside of
musicians,
music.
And half of these musicians, they playing in the club Saturday night. But anyway.
Oh, Lord Jesus, we ain't going to talk about that. Actually, y'all going to talk about that again. Because I see it's still creeping its way back up in popularity in social media. So we can talk about musicians again. Because I don't think they get it.
Who they? Unless your people?
A lot of y'all, I do sound, man.
Ain't no water day.
I do sound. I don't do music anymore.
Ain't no water day.
Rashad says, yeah, no, hell is hard, no Gatorade, no bleach, no lace. Just I'm being tormented for eternity, no power. Let's take Jesus for 1,000. We can play a song for that for this, right? Real quick, Rashad, you understand it. Surprisingly, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I got her analogy. That band, though. That band, Rashad. Is that right chord? Is that music where you better
the people who were coming for Wania, they just needed to watch the
They saw the picture. They didn't see the video. Like a lot of stuff preachers do don't make sense to me, but I remember Jesus spitting the mud and touched someone's eyes to heal blindness, and that's got to be weird.
But I feel like we've got to,
times.
But I feel like we've got to like make a judgment about these things that are weird. Like we can't just be like, oh, Jesus spit in his eyes. Because when Michael Todd did the spitting, y'all were outraged.
I think they're outraged at Jesus' time too. I can't say I'm not being outraged.
But hello, when y'all were like, y'all were not for it.
I think it was just the way he did it. It was just Jesus just did it. He was like,
how do you know? How do you know how he did it?
But we know what Mike did. Mike did. We did not lock.
No, let me not say I feel like we need to judge. I feel like we're getting to a point where weirdness is become almost too characteristic. I think we've been designed to stand out and separate, which is fine. But some of this stuff is like, you know what I mean? Like karate chopping and
slapping
you
the hips of ladies.
dropping the mic after you guessed the name of the person you're speaking to. Like we've got to at some point we've got to be like, some of this is just vanity. It's
No,
not
it is.
necessarily
No, a lot of.
weirdness.
I think a lot of
this
it
is just vanity.
I was speaking to a pastor recently, talking to him about it.
The people that made me feel bad about eating my food on the air. I'm really hungry.
Eat your food, man. A lot of people. I talked to a pastor about this recently, where I was like, a lot of things that we do in church is from the standpoint of emotionalism that was geared towards females, because it's only towards females. If you look at the churches that in this present day and age are filled with real men, not the effeminate men, are pastors that don't really do all of that. The slap your neighbor, the emotionalism. You could do better than this, boo-boo. We got you, girl. And all the pastors' sermons are geared towards these effeminate things and like that. So the sermons that don't have that, the pastors that don't have that, you look at the pastors that have churches that are filled with like real men, they don't have that.
I disagree.
You name them. Which
I
one?
think the chicken came before. I think the egg came before the chicken.
What egg
I think
is?
these pastors had churches full of women, and so their preaching became geared towards women. They didn't start off saying "slap your neighbor, high five, boo boo." They had a church full of women, and they wanted a callback. They wanted a response, and so they're because I don't think they sit down and plan. And boo boo is in the notes, and hey girl, and that's not in the notes. Those things come in the moment when that's when they start. You know when they start hooping. Some preachers put a star hoop here, but there are moments where, based on the flow, based on the response of the congregation, it just makes sense to do that.
But
I think the egg came before the chicken. I think churches were full of women,
that's a yes.
so preaching became geared to women. I don't think preachers preached that way and drove the men away. I think women were in the churches.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. However, I still think that's still.
I think churches that are full of men, the preacher don't do it because he doesn't need to. I think those churches are full of men.
I think those churches are gaining men.
I disagree. I disagree.
I
think men-heavy churches are men-heavy churches, and so everything about the church
how do they get men
is
heavy?
tailored around
What made them men
heaviness. I don't know.
So like with this,
I don't think
this can go back and forth with.
I don't think the preaching did that. I think that's to do with culture and geographics and the raising, and I think there's lots of things that mean. Yeah, that mean that in some places you have really, really men-heavy churches.
I don't mean like even locally. No, I don't mean like this international thing. I don't mean this locally. Like you look at churches over here that have like.
I don't. Maybe it's something about. I don't know. Maybe I think it's the character of leaders
Let's make
too.
it a topic next week.
What makes men want to go to church?
The emotionalism of church. And,
don't do that.
Whether it is what came first, chicken or the egg.
I think the egg. I don't think that's even up for debate. But I think the question is, how do you get plenty men in a church? Churches that have lots of men, how do they get lots of men there?
Release it to get rid of the chicken.
I don't think I don't think the chicken ever had to be born because there was men in the church. There was men in the church. I teach differently for my girl heavy classes than I do for my boy heavy classes. But my boy heavy classes are my boy heavy classes.
You don't have to say what that.
I didn't do that.
You don't have to say what that.
And I think the question is, how do you get the men heavy in the first place?
I think it's the style of preaching.
Now, remember, we are now living in a world where you could hear the style of preaching before you get there. This wasn't always the case.
No.
So that's to imply that men come, like we get a crowd, a bunch of men coming in these churches, and then they're driven away by that. Is that what you're arguing?
I'm not really arguing
plenty men want to be in church, but every time they pull up, it's a woman-heavy, very emotional church, so they leave. Because otherwise, they're not coming.
I won't say I'm arguing it, but I'm stating it.
Okay.
Because arguing means like
you want to go back and forth.
I have strong points, and I ain't go back and forth.
But you want to have a whole show on that.
Yeah, because I want to hear like what like the style. Because we talked about this inside our office before, that there are churches now that are growing by leaps and bounds with men, and like they're not starting like I use one the Black Israelite movement that is here in the country and is growing. They have some weird stuff, but however, men are being drawn to it. What are drawing the men to it? I think it's the madness of and the way they teach. They teach some very, very.
I don't think it's the madness of the
What
way
do you
they
think it
teach.
is?
I think it's the sense of the community that they create for men. That sense of brotherhood that they create for men is attractive to a certain kind of man.
What's that kind of man?
Somebody who feels like ostracized, rejected, doesn't have a place, is wondering, is looking, and you see the way they position themselves even in the communities. They're looking for a particular kind of man. So I guess, yes, the teaching is manly, but they also have other methods to attracting or reaching a certain kind of a man. Somebody who feels like they need to be affirmed. Somebody who feels like they don't have a sense of identity. So I don't.
Alright, so
maybe that's
let's
manliness,
go
knowing
to
the things that are valuable to men and appealing to men.
So let's go to traditional churches that have more, like that men still go to, and men still. What is their win factor?
Me, I don't know. I'm a woman. And I haven't necessarily ever been to a man-heavy church before.
Okay.
So I can't.
Isn't like in the African? No, I guess no.
That's a different world altogether. You don't need to manipulate men to go to church. They go in.
Okay.
They go in. So the churches, they're full of man. Plenty of them married. I tried, guys. I did.
Just a side point.
Just a side point. They in the church, but they taking. They in the church, they taking. And if they ain't taking, you gotta squint your eye and wonder why.
Like,
They're not taking. What happened?
Why you ain't taking?
But why are you still available? Why are you still available? So I think that culturally, that's a whole different.
Or should be a great topic, so I can go. We can probably put some teeth there.
Because also
put some meat
that
on it.
whole some of that. What would translate as emotionalism from this context to like the let me use Ghana. Let me not say Africa because it's a continent and lots of different countries.
Huge
They're all
continent.
different. But let me talk about Ghana, for example. Emotionalism in that culture is driven by men. It's not even. It's driven by men.
Okay.
The emotionalism in that context is like really hot, fiery, fervent prayer. Really exuberant, expressive praise. That's led by men. In that context. So I don't think emotionalism is entirely unattractive to men. So I don't think that in and of itself, because that's to say men don't have emotions. And I think that's not necessarily true.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's not true.
Let's get some of these comments. Rashad said that would be a great topic for a show. Just emotionalism in church, eh? Let's go for it. Let's do it.
I have somebody that can't stand like the typical, especially with black American, that church shout thing. They can't stand it. Like they was like,
I used to hate it. Love it now.
It's they do. No, I don't.
used to
So
hate
like, it's just I can't stand that. What do you do
I
that
used to
for?
hate it. What are they doing it for? What's all of that?
Oh, but you get.
I'm trying to learn how to shout right now. Trying to get my footwork together right now.
Trying to get your step, the two
Trying to
step.
get my two-step. I need to hold on the back of the chair to get it.
You said
To
a
get
tradition
it.
and brotherhood. Tradition
You
and
missed this
brotherhood.
one, though.
What miss?
Rashad.
Oh, the win factor may be that being born there and just stayed, maybe, for the traditionals. We just said that tradition and brotherhood seems to draw men. Perhaps because tradition contains human logic. Maybe I know because eyes open.
I think those are all pertinent points.
What draws men?
Because also, let me talk of what I've observed. You don't have to agree. In churches that are men heavy, while these men are manly or not effeminate,
Right.
they're not necessarily men that are impactful outside of church. In that, from what I've observed, they're not men that have families that they lead to church.
And what church here? You said what?
These are men-heavy churches. Churches that seem to like, when you see the pastor has a strong man following, like a strong manly following. They're all manly men in terms of they're not gay, because that's essentially what we say when we say men are effeminate, right? But I don't necessarily see these men having their wife and children in church.
I see that. I'll disagree for that.
Okay.
I've seen
Because what I think is the when I see a balance of men and women, I find that you have men that are impactful both in the church and outside the church.
Where do you see this?
The balance.
Yeah, this balance.
What, like call a name of a church?
Yeah, like what you can say that has a balance.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not.
But have you seen
I
that?
have observed
Have you seen that
it.
here?
Yes.
Really?
Where I think there's a balance of men and women.
Yeah.
And it's a healthy balance. And you could see that these are men who are both impactful, who are active in church and impactful in the community.
Where they at?
You don't think you
Call
don't
their
think,
name. Let me
you don't think
visit
your
them.
church you don't think your church is one of them?
A good balance, ratio wise.
I think we're better than we were. But then all of us, plenty of us in the church, women in church single. That's the next problem too.
Oh, boy.
Half the balance is because we ain't married yet.
Where your husband at? They had somebody at the church leading somebody else.
And
to church.
then, this could go even further back. We're talking about the balance of men and women in church. What's the balance of men and women in Christianity in the country?
In the white
right?
outside.
And then what about Christianity is more attractive to women than men? This concept that it's a father that we're submitting to, which is quite a difficult concept for some men
Right.
to actually get their heads around. Right? So there's that too.
I said,
Not
hold on.
necessarily
I said right,
just-
but do I agree that that's a difficult concept for men to do? I don't know if that is. You think it is? I don't think that is.
Relating to
That
submitting
is a
to
father?
like a
That's a
father
male.
figure.
I don't know. I've never heard that argument before. All right, so we put it down. We put a pin right there. We put a pin. What's that? A pin. Boop. We put it right there.
My chest hurt just now.
On the
Because
laugh.
it could smell the chicken, but I'm not eating.
All right, guys, let's wrap up. We get ready to go. But I think that's a.
Marisha said, I used to be, hold on,
sorry.
I got to get it. She said she used to hate the shout too, but she be shuffling her feet these days.
Shuffling your feet.
Yeah, I've learned to appreciate that expressions of praise are culturally different, and that's okay. I've accepted that in the
Because
last.
your culture
in-
be shaking up themselves.
yeah, and that's okay.
Apparently so.
Yep,
Shaking up themselves.
yep.
Like, what y'all doing in this house of the Lord?
Marisha said she came from a men-heavy church and they were well-rounded men. I think the only thing I was concerned about was their level of spirituality. They were there and their families were there, but were they? Ah, okay. All right.
Hey, worthy, yeah.
And again, were they engaging in worship or just working in church? Most, in my experience, had positions and were working, so that's why they were there. I could see that too.
Yeah.
I could see that.
That
That food really busting because the topic just started
Let's
topicing.
be Chris. I felt my help. Our help came in the room, Chris.
I told y'all I was flagging from early in the morning.
We felt our help coming. I don't know. It came right in the room, right in on time. All of a sudden, now we energized.
I guess the question we need to ask is we need to get the men on the show to explain what attracts them to church. Now, the bottom line should be the gospel is attractive. That's what the bottom line should be.
Yeah.
But we accept on DGMT that the reason I'll pick here and you'll pick there is because there are certain elements of how it's put together, how it's organized that are just more attractive to me than you, and God has made us different, and that's okay. So let's ask the men then.
Yeah, we didn't find out. We didn't find out exactly what. So yeah, just the woman then.
What's attractive to the men? Can't be Julianne because we're still single. It can't be. It can't
And
be.
it, Christoph, that's what it is. It's like Coke. That cake, give her a little shot. Woo. All of a sudden, the brain was like, what's this? We got a mic? Hold on. Her brain was like, hold on, we on a talk show? Let's go. The brain just automatically woke up. Like, let's go. Let's get it going. Rashad says is the gospel, the worship, and the music that I think that attracts men. This conversation I could never indulge in because what attracted me to the church was my father saying, let's go. I was like, all right then.
No. Okay. And also, but what attracted you to the church you chose in the end? Again, not you. Christoph.
Exactly.
Christoph.
Okay, Christoph big working.
Because Christoph actually, I mean, when Christoph decided where he was going, the nation was made, the nation was informed.
That was a parade.
There was a whole shindig. So Christoph, I guess, why did you choose where you chose?
Yeah.
Rashad was attractive to music, worship,
And music.
the gospel. I'm looking for the Danas on the live, for the Dwayne's on the live. Dwayne's similar to you, to be honest.
Yeah. No. Yeah, church wasn't an option. We from the African culture, I guess. Church. No, you go to church. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And
Churches in
you
Ghana.
live here. You go to church.
And to be honest, church in Ghana are full of men, but it's also a very obvious time when men are choosing more and more not to go to church. Like there are more men outside of church on a Sunday than ever before, but there's still plenty of men in church. Still plenty of them. Again, taken.
Oh, I'll take it. I guess we can look at it. This all says no lie. I had a choice going to church growing up, but when Jesus stepped in, I understood why. Now, Julie, I'll say no. There's come to cut up. But I mean, at some point, I
think Marisha's assessment is familiar to me. This idea that men are there, they're working, they're married, their children come to church, they have titles, but like the level of actual spiritual engagement
It's low.
is questionable, not low, because high in our eyes, not the hearts. Not the hearts. Eman, you come right on time. Let's ask Eman.
Iman. What made you join the church that you joined? Since you come here being silly.
So, Iman, the topic is what attracts men to church.
How we get this topic? We don't know.
No idea.
But the topic
But we
is
do know it
what-
has something to do with this food that we're eating.
Yeah, just brought up Joe Divinity. It's almost 6 o'clock, but we gotta go.
Jesus,
So, like, what makes
nighttime
you?
show Delton today.
Yeah, what makes you join? What made you join the church that you're now a part of, that you attend frequently?
So while Iman gets his answer together, Terrell says, practical ways to implement things at the end of sermons.
What was that? That's why. That's the reason. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the sermon, you feel like, you know what, I could do what this pastor has said. Okay, I got it.
And you know what? I just want to put this out there that I don't deem the slap your neighbor as emotional, you know. I deem it as theatric. I think there's a difference. The slap your neighbor, tell him high five, boo boo, I think that's theatric. I think emotionalism is slightly more nuanced than.
Okay.
I think it's
I get that.
when you play on people's emotions, the things you do, the strings.
Yeah.
I think those things are emotional. I think some of it is theatric.
I give you that.
Slap your neighbor, the hoop at the end. Emotion, it appeals to like excitement, but I think that's mostly theatrics than emotionalism. More
I give you that.
theatrics than emotionalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know drama.
So you mean, so you're saying both emotionalism and theatrics,
And theatrics.
are unattractive to men?
I won't generalize it because I don't know all men. To me, it is. I don't like it.
Okay.
Like I tune out very fast.
Wow. So honestly, Iman says, it was the masculinity and manhood that attracted me most. Too many churches are operating on the worship of the woman. Can you explain, though, what that looks like? What masculinity and manhood?
We can bring Iman on the show.
Yeah, maybe we need to bring Iman next week.
Iman, I'm sure next week. Iman.
Part 2. You know Iman does not know his schedule for next
Never.
week now. He doesn't know.
I ain't know when
He doesn't know.
I gotta go record.
Because I think we came to like we've acknowledged that there's something more masculine about some places than others, but we're trying to figure out like what that is exactly. He says too many churches operate on the worship of the woman. What does that mean? What do you mean operate on the worship of the woman? And
Well-
how can that be a bad thing if the women are the people that mostly go to church? And that's why I said I feel like it's the egg. Because
I
if I
think
go
just-
to a church that's full of plenty women, the pastor's going to be preaching for the women. And then when you walk in there, it's like riding on the worship of the women. So I'm going to leave.
Pastor
And the
Denzel
pastor's
asked-
only just doing what he's working his audience.
I was on Pastor Denzel and he asked a female, he's like, would you not come to my church if I don't have the theatrics or the speaking to women like how you spoke of just now? She's like, would you stop coming? Like if the pastor that you listen to doesn't do the theatrics as a female, would you not come? Would you like stop coming? Oh, no, my answer is no.
No, I wouldn't.
So tell pastor don't do it.
But pastors know not to do it and they still do it. Because
is true.
at the end of the day, there's always a response. You don't keep doing things that people don't respond to. If you stop doing it, we wouldn't leave.
So it's
but
the
when
need-
you do
it's
it, we
the need for
respond.
response. Basically, what you said? It's
Yeah.
the need for a response.
Yeah. It's an impulse, though. It's an impulse, subconscious.
You might say you got over this in the comment section. So he got talk about it.
So
in
he's
person.
he's agreeing to come on the show then?
Yeah, but you know. Anyway, so we can bring this up
Because
next
I
week.
mean, I have things to do next Saturday. I feel like DGMT with Delton and
you
D&E
got things to do next week.
Saturday.
You want to come next week Saturday?
I mean, if Iman's coming, I'm not going to be here.
Wow.
That don't make no sense. No, I got to speak for the women. My name is Vera, and I speak for the women.
I think as you should.
I
Speak
got-
for the
I'll be
women.
here for the women.
So
I mean,
you might let me know. Don't put on the comments because I don't make you lie in front of everybody. So you send me a private message. Let me know if you could do next Saturday. Say, oh God, led me there. Was a follower of the ministry for a long time, but in regard to transitioning, he said he met the kingdom ambassadors and my apostle Benjamin Smith, who operates in power, proclaiming the sound word of God with prophetic utterance as God leads him.
If ever there was a churchy response,
A
to a
churchy, that's
question.
who the kingdom
That's it right
ambassadors, my apostle. Yeah, no, I mean, all right. So that was Crystal. All right, so I think we can try get. But wait, there's more. Crystal, and then the royal priesthood, with our worship, encounter, and demonstration of God's word, they cultivate and develop us, equip us, and then deploy us. I'm like, we assuming it's Crystal. It's Christopher. All right. I'm an ambassador of the Embassy International. You trying to get free advertisement? No, Crystal. No, Christoph.
He don't know this is Glory 93.90. But we one body.
One body.
One body.
So,
Many parts.
ambassador of the Embassy International.
One body, many parts. I think
1,000 Bacardi Road.
This is a really, it's an interesting topic. So we're definitely going to come back to it.
Yeah.
Because then I think it links to the plague of singleness. Let me not say plague, because singleness is not a bad thing. What I mean is the widespread level of singleness, undesired singleness.
Yeah.
Undesired singleness. It's not a bad thing, but the women that ain't single because they want to be. They're single because they can't find a man. Damn.
So y'all want to ask.
So hold on, I want to ask these people. In these man-heavy churches, when there's plenty men, Marisha, this church that you went to, lots of men there. When those men are looking for wives, where do they go?
They go in the church.
Do they go to other churches? Do they go in the world? Do they just not bother looking for wives? Do they come already having wives? Because it's man-heavy, so help me understand. How a man-heavy church doesn't very quickly become a balanced church.
I mean, I believe where there's man-heavy church, there's usually woman-heavy. Or woman balanced.
You think so?
If I look at the churches that I talk,
Because are we saying man-heavy in comparison to man-low? Not man-heavy as in maximum or the majority of men. So man-heavy and then there's more men there. Okay. I still want to know where
that
they're
it
going
might
for their
not
wives.
be. Wow, we say they wives coming from the world. Jeez, I'm
QTNA,
crying.
baby. QTNA.
So they're looking for the loose women. Richard said they're going to looking for the harlots.
Don't make me laugh. My chest.
They're going to look for the harlots.
Anyway, it's Super September, yeah?
Super September.
My face is high.
All right, guys. So we want to leave y'all. We got to go. It's 5:32. We're gonna be on here for an hour, 52 minutes, almost 8 minutes. Let me give y'all a little kiki.
But we're putting a pin in this one.
No,
We
we
would
put a
like,
pin.
and we need the man them back on the
Yeah, yeah.
live. We need
the man them
We need all the man them back on the live.
understand.
Man them tell a man them to come on the live. But you know what? Also, Christoph's response reminded me that there were also two different kinds of men in church. There are churched men in church, people like you and Christoph, and there are men that came to church having been unchurched. So they made their choice,
Yeah.
purely off the bat, based on they didn't.
Looks like a goose.
I don't know.
Looks like a goose.
Ooh, that hurts.
No.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know if we need a representative from both camps.
From both sides.
From
Both
both
sides of
camps.
this.
Like a man who's chosen a church and that was like his first church home, rather than I transferred. Not a transferee,
Yeah.
like a new member,
From
a new church member, and a transferee.
All right. So anyway, let's leave y'all. Leave y'all with a good kiki. Something to take y'all throughout the week. Something that we saw on the live and saw on Facebook. That was just funny. We can leave y'all two of them. I got one here that I really like. I'm gonna play it for y'all real quick.
Which one is this one?
Here we go. Know what love is. Jesus, show me it. I like it. I'm gonna lie to you. Some of my favorite songs. I'm here for it.
Lily ain't come here for foolery. She said that's my song.
Show me, Jesus. Show me what love is. I don't know. I ain't lie. I love that. That right there. Because it fit in so smoothly.
You know what's get me? When I always think about the people in the crowd when they do that. Like when your worship leader goes left, when they have those moments and you're there like, what do I do?
Like what? I can play it again. Watch a guy.
Do I go?
Watch a guy who hands up. And watch.
But he stayed up.
He-
I watched his hand.
He was like,
Because he was, okay.
all right.
Like how?
All right, then. This is what we doing. Let's do it. If we gonna do it, let's do it. Let's not play with
See?
it.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You watch this foolery. And everyone's just carrying on.
Oh, the worship.
It's
Keep the
magically
worship.
real.
Keep the worship going. me, Jesus. Show me what love is. I'm here for it. Show me what love is. You gotta keep your hand. You gotta put your hand down.
Rashad, send me that, please. He said Benita Jones did this with the song Most Beautiful and added, "You are so beautiful to me."
Why?
You
How'd you do that?
are so beautiful. Stop it now.
Why did
To
that?
me, come on, Jonesy.
Oh.
Chris will say, not on the Nord, man.
Say amen, amen, and then the drums kick up and the lights start running.
What get me is that the band was ready. This was practice.
No, the practice.
And rehearse.
No. This was no song in the Lord. This is like, no, we can.
So like there was a concert
we gonna sing
agreement. This
this.
wasn't a rogue worship leader.
No,
This was a team who was like, good idea.
We like it. We go with it.
Good idea.
This is if she did say lift your hands.
It's like, do you know what it's reminding me of? Family Feud when someone says something dumb. Good answer. Good answer. Encourage them anyway. Good answer.
We like it. Oh, because I'm on the Nord. I made Mama here playing this Nord the pieces.
Show me
Jesus. I can hear Michael Bolton. Hey, baby, leave you all here. Speaking of y'all dumbness in church, this plays one right here. This is so we can get
I want to sing it now. And it's to everybody in here that don't know Jesus as their Savior. I don't know what key I sing in, okay? It might be Q, but I sing in one of them. And it goes like this. Hell is hot. Ain't no water there. Oh, hell is hot. Ain't no water there. No ice, no tea, no lemonade, no Coke, no Sprite, no Gatorade. Oh, hell is hot. Ain't no water there. Hell is hot. Ain't no water there. No ice, no tea, no lemonade, no Coke, no Sprite, no Gatorade. Hell is hot.
hell is hot. Ain't no water there. That's what I mean. Might have felt that in the spirit. Might have felt that song.
What made me mad is I
Deep
know
down in
mother
the
and her people
sanctified
used
soul.
to sing this for hours on end. Back
And
in
the
the
band,
day.
I was mad the band never caught it. The band was like, oh, come on, band. The band never caught
But
it.
Brian was determined not to leave Grammy by herself.
Yeah,
though.
but they
I
never
appreciate
caught
that.
it, man. You couldn't feel that.
Would you have caught it?
I did.
What is it?
And the band never caught it.
I saw Alan Wilson on the live, so I'm going to need you to pick that up.
Pick that up in the spirit. That's what you play that on tomorrow.
Judge, we didn't play our clips from Final Sunday, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you're
it's
saying,
okay.
you're
The
not
sessions
saying.
need to come.
You play
The
next
sessions
week.
need to come.
It's always good. Yeah, that's hard.
Say,
What there? Ain't
that's
no water there.
the song of- and somehow after the summer that we've had, it feels fitting to be reminded of such a thing.
No, yeah, hell is hot. Ain't no water there.
I learned that line from Bamis. I can't go to hell.
It's because it's hot.
I learned that from y'all. I can't go to hell.
Because I say, from we don't know the key, the song guy should just been made.
People like you act like you've been in church long, but you can't have been in church long. Can't have been in church long to feel like you could cut Grammy. That's just not an option.
Now that would have been a fight. You saw a man cut Grammy and Grammy.
She hike up them stairs with her stick, and you gonna cut her off?
Happy off?
Nah, man. She said she gonna sing it anyway.
She gonna sing it. I could be in any key. I don't know. What
She
key
run
I
it
don't know.
twice.
And then my mom.
So the Saints, and then when she woke off, the Saints was ready.
Oh.
And that's what I mean about church people.
Ready with the foolishness.
Anything.
Ready to go with exactly. Let's say what the hell is hot. The song. That's the song of the Lord, buddy. So that as y'all go through your show all week, just remember that. Ain't no water there. Ain't no ice. Ain't no tea.
Ain't no lemonade.
Ain't lemonade. Ain't no Sprite. Ain't no
Gatorade.
No Gatorade. Now I'm trying to question the song confused, man. I ain't like that.
They sounded confused.
That's
They sounded
very
confused, but they
confused.
sounded like they was pressing.
She must be lit.
Delton, I think you caught it because you watched the video several times.
No,
if you was there in the moment.
First time. Because you could hear what you're singing it.
Ain't no
Once again,
water
ma'am,
there.
you got what we said earlier. I'm a churchman. That's a church move right there. That's a
Ain't no
church move
water
right there.
there.
I saw Christopher
No
play the
tea,
keyboard. Christopher got
no
legend.
ice, Next Summer Life. That's gonna be the background.
Let's
song.
go.
We had a good time. It took a turn like 3/4 of the way through, which it tends to do. But that's why we love it here. That's
Definitely.
why
We came
we
in
love
strong.
it here. So it's been real.
It's been fun.
It's been real fun.
But we gotta go, guys. We gotta
have
go.
to go.
Y'all come. Christoph and plug your styles on Bugatti Road. We plug it. Join us at Leopard Center tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. EDE Sunday is tomorrow. Our business arm of our church, entrepreneur.
I got my business
Economic
shirt.
development, entrepreneurial something empowerment is what this.
Economic development and entrepreneurial empowerment.
That's it right there. EDE. For all our entrepreneurs, they're encouraging you to wear your business attire, rep your brand, rep your business, bring your staff, bring everybody to church on tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. CHE's auditorium. Speaking of hell is hot, we got our ACs fixed and they are clean and ready to go. So church not gonna be hot tomorrow.
Church is not hot.
Church gonna be cool. So
I was there last Saturday when the ACs were being
they're
fixed.
being clean.
My nose was running by the time I left church. I added a jacket to my Sunday ensemble. I was like, y'all ain't gonna have me cold. in the
Wednesday
house of the Lord.
people are outside getting like
Oh no, Wednesday was like.
people got towels.
And my thing is, y'all see us shivering Delton, and y'all. Ain't
But we
doing
at one point we turned off all the back ones and just 2 was on, and people were still like they were still
no
like,
tea, no. Get the AC here, guys, because
hell is hot, ain't no water.
But we
there.
ain't going there, amen. Praise God.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Y'all be safe, man. Have a great weekend. The rest of what's left of it. Go to church on tomorrow. If you Sabbath keeper and you went to church today, all the best to you. Enjoy your tomorrow. So I'm gonna see you guys later. I'll see you guys next
Must
week.
be nice.
Must be nice to have church today. Christoph said one more thing, but that food came from. They still open, Christoph. We can't call their name because they don't do sponsorship around
sponsor
here.
us. We can send you a
But
person
they ain't too
message.
far from the studio.
Not too far at all.
They ain't far at all.
I don't think this is your neck of the woods, bro.
No, unless you had a funeral or something like that, then right around the corner. Anyway, guys, y'all be safe, man. Enjoy it. I've been Delton,
I've been Vera.
and y'all been y'all. We gone. Have a great weekend.
Supply my every need, even if not in my time. One thing's for sure, I got every reason to be grateful. 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 I got every reason to be
grateful. He's been so good, so I'm 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 grateful. So divine, yo, his mercy so divine. Looking back, I could have lost it, but I'm fine. Even if it doesn't happen in my time, I know he's always on time. So I'm boasting in my rhymes. I give all of me when I do this. He alone deserves it, and I got a testimony. So I turn up when I worship. We gon' turn up with this worship. Oh, because he did it. And even if he doesn't, I'm still grateful for my winnings. Tell him
I've got no